27-24, scored the final 10 points in the last 2 minutes of the game. The game-winning kick from Nick Folk. Head coach Aaron Glenn thrilled for his players.
It's more to me than just the win that I'm looking at. I look at these guys never quit, and they get bashed. Everybody on this team gets bashed for everything, and it's okay because we know exactly what we're trying to do, and we're going to continue to just block out all the noise and keep our focus straight ahead on that vision that we got on what we're trying to be as a team.
The win for the Jets, their third of the season. The Sunday night game, Broncos beat the Commanders in overtime 27-26. Giants and Patriots, Monday Night Football on the Fan, 101.9 FM coverage at 6:15. The Knicks moved to 10-1 at home, beat the Raptors 116-94. Karl Anthony Towns led the way with 22 points, a near triple-double for Josh Hart with 20, 12, and 7. The Knicks 10-1 at Madison Square Garden. They'll be on the road in Boston tomorrow night, while the Nets are home for Charlotte tonight on the Fan 660 AM with coverage at 7:20. The Islanders lost to the Capitals 4-1. Couple of goals for Tom Wilson. The Devils play the Blue Jackets tonight. This report brought to you by the United Healthcare Medicare store in Jackson Heights. Also brought to you by Ray Cattina Lexus of Freehold and Ray Cattina Lexus of Monmouth. Make your holidays memorable in a Lexus from Ray Cattina. The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here. Drive home luxury in a GX or TX with class-leading storage. Celebrate the season in style at Ray Cattina Lexus of Freehold and Ray Cattina Lexus of Monmouth. It's 38 in Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco on WFAN, now streaming on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
It's Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata on WFAN, The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Boy, Aaron Glenn is funny. I mean, he wanted to throw flowers because the Jets won another game. I mean, give me a break. But either way, BT, the Jets get a win. And I do think that it feels good when you look at the way the Jets are winning these games. The fight that they show. I agree with Aaron Glenn there. You could talk about the receivers now that Muji goes out there and gets. So the Jets put themselves in a spot where they're clearly building in year one, and I think it's going to benefit this team by winning football games. You and I have had this argument many times over the years, the tank argument. Well, you want a better pick because clearly they're going to need their quarterback. That's going to be the next piece in their process of getting to a whole nother level. And I think I don't care about the tanking. I'd rather win games now and continue to build this foundation than lose games and hope to have a better draft pick.
You know what's interesting? I think of all the things that we've talked about on the air, and, everybody changes their opinions based on new evidence or new intel, whatever it might be. I think of all the things that I felt very strongly about over the years, this is the one that's changed the most for me. And I used to be in the camp, lose, once you get to a certain point in the season, lose, increase the odds of getting the number one pick. And I'm talking about the Jets, obviously, as a quarterback. Not so much the Knicks over the years. But I look at this, and to me, there's enough evidence in the miss rate, Sal, in quarterbacks taken in the first, 2, 3, 4 picks of whatever draft you want to go back and look at, where, okay, so it's kind of like, when you root against history, that's stupid. I don't think that there's enough history that tells us, and I've done a lot of research on this, where, all right, if you pick first or second, you got you guys. So the miss rate is undeniable. And then the other thing, too, and I think it's taken me a little bit longer to get with this as well, but I have, is that I think there's a lot of evidence around the NFL where it's fully proven that you can find your quarterback in unconventional spots, and the young man we'll watch tonight for the New York Giants was not the first pick or the second or the third. As we know, the Giants made a bold move. They made a trade. They loved him. They got their guy. So I do think that there's certain situations, like if it's a Gase or the end of Salah with Ulbrich, and where you just want the coach out. And like, to me, that's all. It's less about wanting to lose for a draft pick and more about just hoping the owner gets off his ass and fires somebody that we don't believe in. But for this Jets season, I enjoyed yesterday. I thought it was fun. I know the Falcons aren't good. I know the Jets tried their best. False start. I'll take the wins, and I'm happy.
Yeah, but they could have quit many times over in that game yesterday, and they didn't. Also, you think about it, what's more important? Because people get caught up in the sexy, wow, we have a top pick. We want a top pick. We want to have the potential to take the best quarterback, whoever that may be. No doubt about it guy, who, by the way, there's no such thing as no doubt about it guy, or take a chance on somebody, whoever it may be. Is that more important, having the better pick, the higher pick, or is it more important in building a foundation so wherever you do select your next quarterback, whether it's trade, whether it's in the draft, you bring him into a position where he can be successful? The Jets have had the top picks. okay, maybe not the top pick, but they had a number 2 pick. They traded up to get Sam Darnold. They traded up to get Mark Sanchez. Like, they've done the trade up thing. They've also taken quarterbacks in the second round. None of it has worked. Why? Because the foundation hasn't been good enough. So it's not to say that if you have a top pick, you can't be successful selecting the next guy, but also it's more important, at least from where I'm sitting, to try to build the foundation, especially in year one. You can make the case, at least I could have before, with if, say, Dable were still here with the Giants, I would make a case that they're better off losing. Now the only thing is, well, they have Kafka, and do you really want... You can still make the case they're better off losing just because what good is winning going to do? If they win, Shane's going to be here. Kafka may have a better chance of being here. Now, some people may want that, whatever, but they're in kind of no man's land because they don't have a head coach. They have a lame duck GM to a certain extent, and they already have their quarterback. So I don't see the good, and they have a veteran defense. I don't really see the good that's going to come of the Giants winning games the rest of the way. Whereas the Jets, in year one of a total rebuild, it's imperative they get the feel good to believe in what's going on with Muji and Aaron Glenn.
I like your point about the basically just having things a little bit more buttoned up so that when you do bring the quarterback, whether it's, a bridge quarterback from a different team, whether it's somebody in the middle rounds, whether it's somebody in the late first round, whether it's somebody in the top 3, that you actually identify and say, this is the player that we want. If you bring that player into a situation and there's just nothing stable about it, they're not going to win. They're not going to do well. So, it's funny because we talk about, and I know, Darnold does not look great this year. Geno does not look great this year. But we've seen reclamation projects, those two in particular, that have gone on to have some pretty good success because they've gone to more sound situations where if they came into that with the Jets, I promise you they would have looked better.
Right.
But instead of that, and the good thing too, and here's the other aspect of it, and very quietly, going back 2 months ago, some in-season trades, the Jets general manager has proven to be fairly astute, early read, obviously, in recognizing talent. The throw-in in the Sauce Gardner trade doesn't seem like such a throw-in anymore. So that gives me some confidence that, whether it's in the first round or trading up or whatever it's going to be, that he's at least got the chance to make the right call. And for the first time in a long time, the Jets aren't looking for a left tackle in the top 10 or even a right tackle. They got him last year. Memboot is really, really good. So I'm not sitting here saying that, I think that the Jets will win 3 of the next whatever games. It doesn't, but it does matter to a point.
Yeah, maybe.
They got to play Buffalo. You got to play the Pats. Maybe you beat Miami. Maybe you clip somebody else. Maybe you finish with, 5 wins-ish. Well, the Saints, too. I forgot about the Saints. That's right. Yeah, so, listen, I would think that they'll win a couple of more before it's all said and done. Not enough where it's like, wow, what a finish. But they have won 3 of 5.
Yeah.
And the thing to me, whether it's as a parent, whether it's as a coach, whether it's in the boardroom, if you try to hammer home a message and there's no evidence of the message rooting and then seeing some tangible results, it just becomes words and rhetoric and empty chatter that is very hard that really won't resonate with the room. The wins help further resonate the messaging, and the Jets as a franchise are feeling pretty good about themselves, and so am I. I'm happy for them.
Especially in this town with a first-time head coach. Dude, the whole narrative, the majority of the year was, should Glenn be fired? One and done. He's in over his head. Now, all of a sudden, that's gone away as they've won 3 of 5. And again, not that they're the most impressive wins, but still showing fight. And we know that it's year one. They don't have a ton of talent. They're building things out here with Muji and Glenn's vision. And to your point, to have that have some kind of merit and keep the dogs of the New York media off of them, they're going to have to win some games, which they've done. So it's not totally bottoming out. Now, I would have kept Glenn regardless, but there was a chance. They were looking at, they were going to be winless, 1 win.
They're 0-7.
Yeah, okay. And now all of a sudden that narrative, that has died. And now it's the excitement of, okay, well, what can they build? They're stockpiling the draft picks. They're loaded up. The guys that they have brought in showing some potential. They've settled things down. They cleared up the quarterback situation where they move Fields to the bench and go with Tyrod Taylor. There are reasons to be hopeful. The other part of it would be when you start tanking, or the idea of tanking, that to me is such a losing mentality. And it's mostly from the fans, which I do understand it. But think about it from an organizational standpoint. You're going to start chasing losses because you're the hope of, we need that top pick because we can't survive without it. If the Giants tanked last year and had the first overall pick, odds are they wouldn't have had Jaxson Dart. And they would have been in the worst spot. Whether Cam Ward could play or not, who knows? But they would have brought in Cam Ward to a foundation that wasn't any good, and it would have been a lot worse off than they are right now, which is hard to imagine because it's pretty darn bad. but they have at least their guy. So you just don't know what's going to happen, which is why I wouldn't chase it. You can build a foundation, see where the chips are, where they may be at the end of the season, and then go get your guy, whoever that may be.
Yeah, I mean, there's no Peyton coming out. There's no Andrew Luck coming out. And, today, I still like Mendoza, but who knows? You get to the combine, Dante Moore, Simpson, if he comes out. I don't know, and I'm tired of guessing, which I really think is the ultimate point, because, I do find it interesting or even funny, really comical, where so many people and I do think the numbers dwindled. Just based on my little social media experiment yesterday, I feel like more Jet fans are happy with the win than disenchanted based on, losing. Now, the 6th overall pick right now, that could change. But it's funny how everybody's an expert at this point, where during the summer, I guarantee, and I'm talking about if you went up to fairly ardent football fans, Jet fans, hey, what do you know about this Mendoza kid? Where does he play? Forget about what his skill set was or how big he was. I'm not even sure if Jet fans would know that he was in Indiana. And now all of a sudden, everybody's an expert. So I've stopped playing that game I've stopped playing that game now. I don't do it anymore. There's no transcendent talent coming in that would justify wanting to lose games. That doesn't mean somebody can't become an all-time great wherever they get drafted, but not enough to sacrifice morale and team building and messaging. So that's where I'm at right now. That's not going to change the rest of the year. I promise you guys. And the other thing, too, is when you talk about building a little culture, baby steps, brick by brick, how do you do it? Well, you do it with good talent, right? Clearly, I don't think the Jets' talent base is incredible yet, although I do think that they've got some fortified spots in very important spots, which matters. But generally, what do? Well, you cut down the penalties, and you cut down the turnovers, and you do a little something on special teams. 2023, Jets had the most penalties. 2024, Jets had the most penalties. Now, today is not the day to tout the penalties because they almost gave the game away with stupid false starts, and they had 9 penalties yesterday. But still, having said that, they're like 10 or 11 this year. So he's cleaned that up a bit. Special teams might be, this is not hyperbole, it might be the best overall unit in the NFL. So when you look at that, you look at the draft and the energy that the team's emitting, I like the direction of the Jets. I'm happy that they won, and I hope that they keep winning.
Plenty on Week 13 in the NFL, and of course, get you set for tonight, Monday Night Football. Jaxson Dart back in action for Big Blue in New England. BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Sam is in Melville starting us off. What's up, Sam?
Good morning, guys. Sal, BT.
What's up, Sam?
This could be one of the rarest, a lifelong Jets fan, usually I'm predicting the Super Bowl. This could be one of the rarest times I actually agree with Sal. Build a foundation. Get the pieces to help a young quarterback be successful. Don't trade up. Don't give away those premium picks. You have to have a good offensive line. You have to have wide receivers. You have to have a running back. All these things in place to help a young quarterback succeed.
Okay, congrats.
Yep.
I mean, have you always been in that belief?
Yes, I always have.
Okay, so have I. So I'm not sure why you're saying that you it's a rare time that you agree with me. So have I. I don't get it.
Well, usually I don't. I feel, Sal, you're usually against the Jets unnecessarily.
Unnecessary.
That's not true.
And thank you for the call, Sam. We get it. And look, that's him. And then you can have your opinion on wanting to tank. It hasn't worked. There've been multiple ways. No, I'm not against the Jets. The Jets have sucked. I mean, it's like Aaron Glenn.
You're not making it up.
Yeah, we were listening to Jerry play the cut of Aaron Glenn. He's like, oh, everybody knocks these guys. And dude.
Yeah, we looked at it. I actually said something to you.
Yeah, like, come on. So this is not an anti-Jet thing. You just don't like the reality. And I get it, sports fan. I'll tell you, I'll give you a quick little thing into the mind of a sports fan. Not that you need to know this, BT, but just I heard Gio this morning say something like, well, the Falcons suck, which he's right. And I don't even care about the Falcons. But even hearing somebody else say it, as a former diehard Falcon fan, I could see how it bothers people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's you could say it about your team, but when somebody else says it, it's a harsh reality. So don't get it twisted. I don't hate the Jets. I don't hate the Giants or any team for that matter. I just call it how it is. And with the Jets, I don't know how you could call it any other way than it's been god awful. However, this year, I do think there are good things that have gone on, a lot more good than bad, especially over the last 5 weeks.
I mean, that was an interesting take there. Guys, there have been erroneous takes on the show and on the station forever, and that will continue. But lumping the Jets in and the Giants with the dregs of football football society has been pretty much spot on because that's what they've been. That's not like, making something up. Come on. It's the longest drought we know the stupid stat, North American team sports. I look at, and I've thought this a little bit along the way. I'd like to see more evidence. They've got to get a safety. They've got to get a corner. But if you ask me, hey, all right, as a Jets fan who's I would hope that you guys think I'm fairly dialed into the Jets in terms of their personnel. If you said, hey, what do they have going for them right now? I'll tell you this. Yeah. They have an offensive line that I think is going to be, I think it's already among the top 10 in football. I think it's got a chance to be elite moving forward. They need one more piece, right? And we'll see. We'll talk about that deeper when we have to. They've got wide receiver 1. There's a chance they may have stumbled upon wide receiver 2 in Mitchell. They've got a young tight end that we all love in Mason Taylor. And by the way, for most of the season, you've had Justin Fields throwing worm burners to these receivers, which, how the hell do you distinguish yourself as a receiver when the quarterback can't throw? So you look at all those things. I feel like the arrow's pointed up. This is not going nuts. This is not unkillable. This is not playoffs with Zach. This is not Mike White can spin it. This is watching the Jets snap to snap and seeing a team that's getting a little more buttoned up and passionate as the year goes on.
And also showing discipline, which I think is very important. It could have been easy for Muji to come in and Glenn to come in and be like, hey, we need a quarterback now. No, it was disciplined the way that they operated and, the way that they went about their draft and all that stuff, and then evaluating the first year of, Aaron Glenn as a head coach, first year with Muji here, deciding to make the big trade with Sauce and Quinnen Williams, stockpiling picks. To me, it's the exact spot. Now, who knows what the results are going to be? It's the exact spot you would want to be in a year one of a rebuild. Winning some games, staying true to what you believe in, discipline, getting the team to be progressively better as the season goes on, and setting yourself up for success in the draft. Now, Muji's going to have to pick his guy, and Glenn's going to have to pick his guy. As far as the quarterback goes, they're going to have to rebuild that defense. There's a long way to go. Mm-hmm. But for me, I don't think you could be in a better spot in year one of a rebuild than the New York Jets are in.
I would agree with that. There's just a good energy coming from the building right now. There's been a couple of guys who have chirped a little bit, whether it's Breece Hall on social media, but even while I don't think he's always been right in what he's kind of said here, taking aim at Costello, there's a unity right now. And this goes into, and at first I didn't like it. I thought it was unfair, and I thought it was certainly unnecessary. I thought the characterization, and certainly the contentious exchange between Glenn and the reporters about the quarterback for a while, I felt that it was a little, again, unnecessary and a little misguided, but you can now see what Aaron Glenn's trying to do. And, I think about a month ago, I started to change my tune on that a little bit. I'm like, all right, he's trying to create us against them, and it's starting to work a little bit.
Yeah, and you have to have the wins, otherwise it doesn't mean anything. At least some. Covey is calling from the GWB. What's up, Covey?
Cove.
Guys, first time, long time. Love you guys. Love the energy.
Thank you.
I was in the stands yesterday. There was not a single person in the building with the rain and the freezing cold who didn't want that ball to sail through the upright. Mm-hmm. First of all, folk, I love the folk hero. Love it. He's an old-time Jet. But come on, tanking. I mean, who wants to lose games?
Well, I used to.
We've gone through Kotite and Gase, and I'm sitting there in the cold and the rain, and tank lose games?
Well, you're not
kidding me?
If you're going into the game, that's a little bit different. And if you went to that game yesterday, you got something wrong with you.
Evan went.
I don't want to lose any game. I don't want to lose any game.
I get it.
Yeah.
But go ahead, BT.
I was just going to say, Covey said who wants to win games. He asked the question. That's kind of the point of the conversation. I used to be in the camp that wanted to, and that's where I've just changed.
To lose games, right.
To lose games, to get to a point where, in theory, I give my team a better chance to finally get the quarterback, which has proven to be so elusive, and it's not going to be easy. They're not going to pick top 3. Although it's funny, just a quick sidestep here. The Colts now, Gardner's injury, Daniel Jones banged up, and I've been following this. And
a little dose of reality for Indianapolis.
A little bit. They've lost 2 straight. And right now the Jets, I believe that would be the 26th pick that the Colts would have. They've got to play the Jags again. They've got to play the Texans again. They're playing some tough teams here. I think they're playing the Niners and maybe the Rams. There's a chance that they could lose every game. Now, they won't lose every game, but Before yesterday, they had 6 to go, and I thought maybe 3-3 was possible. Based on yesterday, I think 2-4 is more probable than possible. So, that scoots up into the early 20s, maybe the high teens, whatever. It just gives Muji, who at least on the surface and on the most basic evaluation point, I think the Jets general manager has earned the benefit of the doubt, which gives me confidence going into the offseason. And something that I was a little worried about after the first 7 games, I feel like Aaron Glenn has stabilized. He's learning, he's grown into the job, and his team's following him, and it's good.
Jets right now have the 7th pick overall. Colts have the 23rd.
23rd?
That's what Rami just said. Yeah, 23rd.
Right then that changed when I checked. I thought the Jets were 6th, so that changed, right?
Yeah, because last night Washington moved up to 6.
That's right. Okay. All right.
Either way.
Doesn't matter. That's fine. Oh, wait. Well, no. One slot. I changed everything I said.
And
you can't fall to 7.
No, and it's still gonna change throughout the rest of the season here. But point is, you're in a good spot with 2 first-round picks like that, hoping that the Colts continue to lose. They're going the wrong way.
That's what I'm saying. And don't forget, as you wouldn't, that 3 next year. And there's just, like, that draft board's interesting. Like, I don't want to get too geeky, but you can nab a stud receiver or a stud corner, or if they even need a receiver, which I'm not so sure that they do, or another position of need. And there's a couple of them. You could address things fast. Like, guys, there are many teams who have gone from awful to very competitive. Jets aren't there yet, but they're taking the right steps. It's fun to see. It's good to see. Finally, it's good to see.
WFAN NFL football powered by Verizon. Get your local Verizon store today. More of your calls when we come back. Working the Giants as well. We'll go over Week 13 in the NFL. Just getting started on this Monday morning. BT and Sal on the Fan.
It may be the offseason for the Bombers and Amazons, but there's no offseason for Yankees and Mets talk. Get the latest here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
Operating engineers Local 825 are the men and women who make our region move. So whether it's roads, bridges, or our favorite team stadium, they build and maintain the critical transportation, water, and energy infrastructure we rely on. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the signatory contractors and the hardworking men and women who build both New York and New Jersey.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great, but I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Gotham City football is coming. Be at MetLife Stadium for Week 14 as the New York Jets face the Miami Dolphins for the team's first ever rivalries game on Sunday, December 7th at 1 p.m., presented by Avery Dennison. Fans in attendance will receive a Rivalries rally towel while supplies last. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
At the United Healthcare Medicare store, right here in Jackson Heights, you can chat face-to-face with a licensed sales agent who understands the community and get clear answers to your questions. We're located at 3752 82nd Street between Roosevelt and 37th Ave. We're ready to help.
Ready for a smarter way to heat your home and save on energy costs? Go with Petro. Upgrade to a new energy-efficient heating system with the latest technology to help you save now and for years to come. With easy financing, $0 down, and low monthly payments, better comfort and savings are all within reach. And trust your local HVAC pros at Petro for expert installation and best-in-class service. Don't miss this deal for a new heating system. Go to petro.com now or call 1-888-PETRO02 today. That's 1-888-PETRO02.
We all have regrets. That haircut, that text, missing out on Kohl's Cyber Days. Good news, you can fix at least one of those. Get up to 50% off gifts for everyone on your list. Sunday and Monday only at Kohl's. From cozy favorites to top toys, you've got 2 days until you miss out. Don't let Cyber Days be the sale that got away. Save at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends December 1st. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
Talk New York sports on The Fan.
I love elves. Hard workers, cheery bunch, but they can sure wreck a bathroom. Luckily, someone's always ready on short notice to save Christmas. The fine folks at Roto-Rooter.
Coast is clear, Santa.
Thank you. You may want to stick around. Santa needs to get in there.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today. Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Talk New York sports.
It's out back on the Fan, 888-808-1019. The number to call. We'll go around the NFL a little bit and where we're at with Week 13 and just the results of what has been a crazy season as far as the parity goes around the league. We'll get into the Giants as well. Big matchup tonight. Just because you want to see what the new defensive coordinator is going to do. Kafka and Dart. Forget about even the first two games of Kafka. This is now where it counts, BT, with him having his quarterback. And I think the real beginning of the final evaluation of Kafka and to see if he's going to get himself an interview and be a legit candidate with the Giants to see how that offense looks with Jaxson Dart under center.
I'm excited to watch the Giants tonight. I don't think that they're going to win necessarily. I don't think many people think that they will win, whether or not it's tight or not, whatever. We can get more into the game later. But, yeah, I am very, very curious to see how he's deployed. I mean, listen, there's going to be times where he's out of the pocket and instincts take over, and hopefully he gets down and slides or gets out of bounds. But it's the design stuff that we've talked about. How many ways can Kafka really distinguish himself from the previous coaching staff? And I think that's one way. I think the other way is handling internal matters maybe more aggressively, like the Abdul Carter. Now, I would have gotten more, but he didn't start him. These are all things that we talked about before Thanksgiving, obviously. But he's a little more forceful. I think that he showed a little more willingness to rattle the cage a bit and like, hey, my rules or these are the consequences. So there's more to go, and it's less about wins for me at this point. I just want to see how they look. And the truth of the matter is they've looked kind of good most of the year, which is strange to say given their record. But yeah, I'm excited for the game tonight. And by the way, Drake May, as you know, is just a stud. Well, Drake May versus Jaxson Dart. I mean, if they're both healthy and both of their franchises do the right things by them and around them, and we know the Pats already have, I think these two young men could be absolute. Drake May already is. Both top 10 quarterbacks for a good 5, 6, 7 years as they hit their prime.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Let's get back to some of the calls here. Starting the show with the Jets. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Charlie's in Bethpage. What's up, Charlie?
Hey, guys. How you doing this morning?
Good.
Listen, Jets, you know what? It was fun to watch a good game yesterday and some quality football. And you know what? I think everyone's downplaying the Falcons. I think the Falcons got a good team.
Now they stink.
Those two running backs every day of the week.
They have some skill, but they're an awful football team.
Some skilled players.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah.
And they're an awful football team. As a matter of fact, Charlie, that loss yesterday should be the final nail in the coffin of Terry Fontenot, the GM who's been there for 5 years. He should get the axe, as should Raheem Morris, and they should go hire Bill Belichick. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but with the Jets moving forward, with the going for the quarterback, yeah, we know we need the quarterback, but we do have the foundation. Finally, we get an offensive line. We haven't had an offensive line since, God rest his soul, Nick Mangold, Brickashaw Ferguson. That was the last offensive line we had. And so we keep on drafting quarterbacks like Geno Smith, Donald, and Zach Wilson. They didn't have an offensive line in front of them. So at least now we get a quarterback. We got pieces there, the foundation, the line. We got Breece Hall as a running back. The kid Mitchell looked pretty good yesterday.
Yes.
It was nice to see a ball get thrown downfield.
Yeah.
My God, I almost had a heart attack when I saw that. I mean, a touchdown. Jesus. Unbelievable. But they're going in the right direction. Listen, there's a lot of work to do. We still need a lot of pieces of the puzzle. We got them drafted. We got an awful lot of draft choices. I mean, there's no way they can screw this up.
Whoa, hey. Let's not go nuts here, Charlie. I do have some early strong faith in Darren Muji here to maybe finally be the guy that's going to be the general manager for a while, but let's not tempt fate. Let's not go nuts. And the bottom line is this: when you have a first-year coach here, and especially a first-year coach just as a first-year coach, I mean, which it's one thing to come here after you've coached somewhere else. I mean, Aaron Glenn never coached a game in terms of the head man in his life here. So there was a learning curve and some early moments that we criticized him, crucified him for. A little conservative play early on in the year. You guys know what I'm talking about. But the bottom line is they played 12 times, and twice they've been non-competitive without any good quarterback play, really. The Bills game and the Dallas game. Now, there were some ugly games mixed in there. The Panthers game was pretty ugly. They didn't score a lot, but they lost by 1 touchdown. And I'm not going to run through the whole schedule because that's the encapsulation. And now they've started to win a couple before the bye. Then they had the bye. Then they won again. Now they won 3 of 5. Special teams looks good. The online looks better. There's things that you could say tangibly. I like this. I like that. I like this. I like that. But I think maybe one of the best things to like is that the coach is growing into the role. Not perfect, and he might not ever be fully the guy. We've got to see. But he's growing into the role.
Yeah, it's early evaluation of a head coach. We're not really going to know about him until things get serious as far as the win-losses go. So you can pick certain things you like, certain things you don't like about it. He's learning himself in year one. The most important thing, and Charlie alluded to this about, the last time we had an offensive line was with Mangold and the Brick. Yeah, and that was the last time you were good. That you need to build a foundation. Instead of chasing the quarterback and everything else, build the offensive line the right way. Build inside out in the trenches, and that's what the Jets have started to do over the last couple of seasons. And I think you can even see even more of that, certainly from the defensive side, moving forward. That's how you want to build a team, and then you start to bring in the big pieces. I'm not so sure they're going to take a quarterback in the draft this year.
I'm with you.
Could be next year, and nor would I. Don't go chasing it. If you love somebody and he's there to where you can either trade up to get him or take him with your pick, then take him. If you don't, do not force the issue. Now, by year 3, you're going to need to make a decision on a quarterback definitively, but I just wouldn't say no matter what, now they got to get a quarterback right away. Not necessarily.
No, I agree with that. You know, some of that, this gets a little boring, but I think this matters. You look at the dead money for Rodgers. You think of the dead money if they move on from Justin Fields. The one thing that is troublesome pertaining to the quarterback room next year is that they've got about $57 million of dead money. Again, if they cut Fields, and I would just keep Tyrod Taylor and whatever else you do. That's a little hard to work around, although by trading Gardner and Q, that's big money off the books, and maybe that's one of the reasons they did it. Also, both a little overrated at this point, and you get a lot of draft capital back. So I do think that there's got to be a bridge where you just can't reach, because when you reach and you overreach, that's where the mistakes come that don't hurt you for a year or two. They hurt you for 5, 6, 7 years.
Dan is in Saratoga. What's up, Dan?
Danny, what's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. One thing I have to say that I'm very pleased with when we got all these draft picks, Glenn being a former player, I think he had to have a meeting with these guys and said, listen, we are going to have 7 or 8 new guys that we're going to feel very good about next year. So you guys are playing for a job. And I think they're actually responding. Something Gase could never get out of them. Something Bowles couldn't get out of them. And, of course, the last guy, forget it. But the main thing is they finally have a reason to play because they're playing for a job. Maybe not necessarily with the Jets, but they're on film. They could be playing for somebody else. Even the ultimate waste of humanity, Michael Clemens, has not had the penalties in the last 5 or 6.
That's a little harsh, Danny.
I mean, come on.
This guy was a foot away from the ball one day on a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line, or for a first down, and he jumped offside.
No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I don't really think he should be on the team. I don't think he's very good, but let's not get personal here,
The
Danny.
ultimate waste of humanity is
goodness.
extremely strong there, Dan, and thank you for the call. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not even saying that Glenn could get more than some of the other guys. I just like the idea that, hey, maybe the biggest key here is Moochie, where everybody was looking at the head coach and their problems, but what about the guys in the front office? And I know everybody loved Joe Douglas just because he was so much better than the incapable slop before him. That's not getting too personal, right, Cliff?
No, I think that's fairly accurate.
Like Idzik, McCagnon, we've gone over those guys. Oh, my God.
Geez.
Right, so when you have Joe Douglas, who was somewhat competent and looked like a guy who could be in charge.
Except the quarterback spot.
Okay, whatever.
But
At least he took his shots. He missed, whatever. But Muji working in silence. He doesn't want to be seen. He's just doing his thing, making difficult decisions, showing that discipline. I think he could be the key here, and he comes from the Sean Payton school when he was just with Denver, and I love that model where you see turnover and you see players everywhere on that football field. I feel like Muji, now again, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I feel like Muji can be that guy to bring in the proper pieces along with AG.
He operates in silence very stealthily, but when something happens, you're like, ooh, that was a pretty good move right there. Some of the big stuff that we know about, and even some of the lesser stuff which we've talked about. But, the other thing too is, and this has plagued the Jets for years, and it's what led them to be, let's face it, a laughingstock. Like, it's one thing not to be good or incredibly competitive or without the quarterback and a consistent loser. It's another thing to be a joke, to be a circus. And all the leaks coming out of the building and just the overall feel of the New York Jets for years, for 15 years, has been one that is not buttoned up, and it's loose, and it's sloppy, and it's disjointed, and all those things that we associate with circus, like the Knicks with Isaiah. Like, that's
direction.
Yes, directionless. Now, all right, they're not incredibly talented. We all know that, but they are operating as one, seemingly for the first time in a long time. And I just think that they really respect Aaron Glenn. And I got to tell you, now I'm going to get a little geeky here. Like, when I see that video at the end of these wins here, what are they going to say about those effing Jets? I'm like, let's go.
You still can't hit to it?
I do, because I know that resonates with young athletes, and you just see them, and it's just. It's okay to be positive, guys. That doesn't mean we're delusional. Doesn't mean we're in outer space. Wow, the Jets going to be great. Jets have a long way to go. Think about where they were, though, and like the little tiny baby incremental steps, I'm with it. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing.
And a lot more good comes from winning than it does from tanking. That's how we started the show. We'll continue the conversation. Working the Giants a little bit later on as well. 888-808-1019.
Hey, does Lindor like anybody? We got to get to that as well. We got busy. Was
that a surprise to anybody? It shouldn't have been.
To this show. We talked about it basically 2 years ago. Anyway, hey, the FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who's going to win straight up. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Now, tonight, giving everybody a 30% profit boost token. That's right, jumping on the fun of little G-Men Pats with a 30% profit boost token this Monday night. So, make FanDuel your go-to app. Ready, snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/BT to bet on the game. FanDuel.com/BT to jump in on the action and get that 30% profit boost token tonight. We love the app around here. It's safe and secure. It's simple to use. It is really, guys, if you're not on FanDuel, download it, give it a shot, look at it. It's so easy to navigate. When you win, you get paid right away, which is what really matters. The money's in there right away. So you can play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And also, of course, the official sports book of us here at WFAN. Must be 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions to apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And for help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
It's Evan and Tiki. Afternoons on the Fan 101.9 FM.
Tony Boland also has a hand tied behind his back. The second and third levels of this Giants team are not very good, and they're playing with second and sometimes third stringers. I mean, Nick Jones is out there. It's like it's some of these kids. I don't even know their name. I don't know who they are.
Listen to Evan and Tiki on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Tonight, the Giants, already playing for next year, visit the Patriots, who are seeking the AFC's top seed. Now, New England is -2 of Drake May's offensive line bodyguards, but the league's number 4 offense should still test the Giants' new defensive coordinator, Charlie Bowen. Jaxson Dart returns for Big Blue and their aggressive new head coach, Mike Kafka. I'm going to pick the Pats to win 30-24. Therefore, the Giants cover. I'm Boomer Esiason.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
Take the guesswork out of cooking, folks. The Chef IQ Sense is a must-have wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or over cooking chicken, fish, or steak. Order the newly released 3rd-generation Chef IQ Sense at chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
Ready to shop? Target's Cyber Monday deals are loading now and moving fast. Score 25% off beauty kits for every look and style. Up to 50% off clothing and shoes for the whole fam, and 50% off top holiday gifts. Plus, brand new surprise deals you haven't seen all year. Shop on Target.com or in the Target app for free delivery. But don't wait. These deals are 2 days only. Save more on Cyber Monday with Target. Free shipping applies to orders over $35.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone.
Where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning, and you too can be so much more.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Tune into the BT and Sal Show weekdays from 10 to 2 on The Fan. Presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Giants.
Behold, the alpha mother in the holiday wild. She prowls the digital savannas for deals to satisfy her pack. From her gamer husband to her tech-savvy daughter, her advantage. Switching to Fios Home Internet from Verizon. Choose from our biggest selection of gifts ever on us with a Fios 1 gig plan. Only until December 1st. Get our best deals with Fios Home Internet. Call 1-833-VERIZON to switch today. Availability varies.
Want the best deal on Bridgestone winter tires? Get to Town Fair Tire and get Bridgestone tires at the guaranteed lowest price. Plus, you get more free services than anywhere else. When you combine Town Fair's guaranteed lowest price with the most free services, you get the guaranteed best deals anywhere on your Bridgestone winter tires. Because nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. And you know we mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT and Sal back on the Fan. 888-808-1019, the number to call. You know how many people ask me, because, you're a Falcons fan. You talk about the Falcons. You want to go to that game. I had multiple, and I appreciate the offers. I had multiple, this is dating back for months, not even just the day of. And I'm like, nah, I think I'm good. And thank God that I said that, because the last thing in the world, I don't know if you could draw up a place that I'd rather be less than MetLife yesterday in the cold, in the rain. I didn't even want to watch that game on TV, all due respect. And I had it on as part of the quadrant, but that is a dreadful game. And then to see that Evan was there.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, finally a win. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, nobody who went to that game came away with a win. That is a loss. The cold, the rain. Jets, Falcons, you couldn't have a worse matchup than that.
There's only one thing to make MetLife look worse, and that was, aesthetically have a day like yesterday with a range drop in. You got that cold. There was a cold. I got off the plane. I got back from Dallas yesterday, and there was a cold, my bones were cold. I could eat a rawness as I was coming out of Newark Airport. I'm like, oh, my God. And, you just see there was a lot of empty seats, the gray, drab backdrop when nobody's in MetLife, and the Falcons stink, and the Jets record stinks. Although, again, if you're just tuning in, I'm thrilled for the wins. I'm not trying to be, negative. I'm just reacting. Yeah, that's a different conversation. But, you've got to be.
It was the worst game on the slate yesterday. Or at least one of the worst games on the slate yesterday.
Yeah, I think the only way you go to that game is if you're taking a child, and it's that's one of the two games you're going to take him to. And I didn't know that Evan took one of his sons. I don't know if his jet or his other one. Or you have no responsibility, and you can tailgate, and, you just do whatever you want. Because if you have responsibility and you willingly carve out, if you tailgate an hour before and after, minimally, if you carve out 6 hours on your, willingly doing that to go sit there in the rain, you're out of your mind.
I mean, the only other game that would give it a run for its money as far as being less meaningful yesterday, because at least, the Niners, you have the Niners. Okay, at least meaning that they're relevant and the games matter. Jacksonville, the games matter. Miami, New Orleans would have been the only other game.
Yes.
And at least that's in Miami. You could say now I don't think it was great weather there either, if I'm not mistaken. I watched a little bit of that game at the end, and maybe it was okay. But there was bad weather. It seemed all over the place yesterday. Anyway, at least that's Miami. This game, and now for you, like you said, you were just imagine going to the game you went to, Thanksgiving Day, Dallas and Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Doesn't get much better than that on Thanksgiving. Good. And then having the drop-off of going to the Jets-Falcons at MetLife.
Although it was not without some impediment, shall we say? Here.
What do you mean? You had 4 tickets? Or
we had 4. No, we went to the game.
I saw a lot of the pictures. You were texting us, but then I saw you post some of them.
Yeah, I did. So
first time in that stadium?
No, remember I took the jet trip a couple of years ago?
Okay, that's
remember
right.
When Sauce could have had the pick 6 of Dak in the flats and he dropped it, and there was nobody in front of him? Yeah, and of course that was when
Colt, first time your son?
First time that my and Jen's from there, and she went to the who the hell was it? Zach. When they opened up the stadium years ago, she went to the first concert. It was Country Western.
Okay.
So she's been there. She's never actually seen the Cowboys, and she's a huge Cowboys fan. But and my daughter's a Cowboys fan as well because of mommy. So it was really cool to see that great stadium. But there were issues, bro. First of all, I was so annoyed at my wife, and I've told her this for years, right? She's got this now in my house. I'm gonna take a little detour. I gotta air some grievances here. So in my house, my kids don't touch my phone. Don't touch Daddy's phone. And when Daddy's on the phone, do not look over my shoulder and read what Daddy's writing. Right. That's not the way it goes. Right. Now, in my wife's defense, she's got kids around, especially my daughter, hanging on her all the time. I get it. It's a little different. But she is, in outer space, realizing that the kids are peering over her shoulder and sometimes looking at what she's writing. And a lot of it's business, or I'm not saying it's anything bad, but what happened was she and I were texting about, how should we tell the kids? How should we surprise them about that daddy and mommy came through with 4 Cowboy tickets on Thanksgiving Day? Because we've been talking about that forever. So I told my son before we went, the morning going to the airport, waiting for the Uber, I says, Colt, I said, Mom and Dad have something pretty cool lined up. He's like, the Cowboys game? I'm like, what? How do you know? And it wasn't like a random guess. He's like, mommy's phone. I'm like, all right. So I was already annoyed at that. All right, number one. Number two, now this I can't possibly be ignored at, but it was definitely an issue. So my in-laws were great because we wound up eating so early in the day because the game, 3:30 local Dallas time. I mean, it's Thanksgiving.
Right.
So I scarfed down 2 plates in 37 minutes, which I wanted to enjoy it.
Like 12:30?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly when we sat down. A little early, go to a game that I don't really care to watch the Cowboys play. I really don't. Right? So I was
You're taking one for the team.
You're doing it for my family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You'd think I got some bonus points out of it. I got none. I got Ajit instead. So now I can't fault her for this. And I felt terribly. We have to take an Uber. My father-in-law was like, I'll drive you there. I'm like, no, Fred, there's no way. Just stay here, have a glass of wine, eat. No, we'll take the Uber. So we take the Uber, and we get dumped a mile from the stadium. So we got to navigate a mile's worth of people getting to the stadium. Same thing going back to get the Uber, which was a pain in the ass. This is where I felt badly for Jen. She actually was sick. She threw up.
Wow.
Not drinking at all. Like, she was really not feeling well. So multiple times,
on the walk up?
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
Tell me about it. It was, more rough for her than me at that point. I did feel genuinely bad about it. But so it stripped away some of the enthusiasm. Like, she wasn't really vocal at the game. She was kind of quiet.
Nobody else had it? I mean, it wasn't like a bad turkey or anything like that?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I felt good. I actually kept eating once I got to the stadium. I got a pretzel. I got a couple beers. I mean, I'm here, but
You're good, honey?
It was just, I told her, I said, I'm never doing that again. I said, that is it. Bucket list. It was great. I'll go to another Cowboys game. Never again on Thanksgiving.
Bad traffic getting out of there?
Pain in the ass, dude.
And none of the other, there was no tailgating. You had said that you were going to tailgate with the entire family.
We were thinking before we got the tickets that maybe we would go all 15 or 20 of us, rent the big screen TV. Now, this was a very ambitious plan that I really never really thought would fully come to fruition, but I was down with it. Tailgate, have our food, do the turkey on site. My father-in-law's a great cook. That didn't work out, so it was just the 4 of us, but it was just a long day. Like,
the kids have fun?
They did. They felt they were worried about mommy. Like, mommy really didn't feel great.
Yeah. Any issues once you got in the stadium with
Well, no. Then we just had to walk basically a mile to the Uber lot, which is it's just a lot of moving parts. I'll leave it at that.
BT and Sal on the fan, 888-808-1019. I can understand throwing up at the game yesterday, like Jets Falcons, watching that garbage. Pete is calling from Seaford. What's up, Pete?
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Pete.
BT, do you, given the needs of this team, which is, obviously a quarterback, all the things you went through already. They need a safety, they need a linebacker, they need a run-stuffing nose. I'm still out on Glenn. I don't know if he's going to be the guy that's going to be the coach that takes this team to, playoff contention. But do you really think that winning, say, 4 out of the last 6 and that momentum that maybe you could talk about is better than having control of your own destiny in the draft? Like, do you think that winning 4 out of 6 will soothe over, and with the 11th overall pick, the New York Jets select? Like, do you really think that that's the right way to go about the rest of the season?
Yeah, I do. Now, that is not how I've always felt. I first of all, and I'm not all in on Aaron Glenn. I mean, I think it would be a little foolish to be all in, like he's absolutely the guy that's going to lead the Jets to the promised land. I'm liking what I'm seeing, so I'm definitely more all in than not. I'm not out at all. It's just how far I'm in, and that will gain steam hopefully the rest of the year. Yes, I do, Pete, because I want him to be emboldened. I want him to feel, that his messaging is rooting, that the young kids on the team. Now, you could probably take 15 or 18 players now and just whack them off the roster for next year. So I know it's not a complete carryover, but there's something to be said for learning how to win and now hitting the practice field this week. Let me ask you this, Pete. If the Jets would have lost 20-3 and they couldn't muster more than 6 first downs, what do you think the tone's like at practice this week? What do you think it's like? It's awful. The guys are checking out. Guys aren't even interested. At least to me, this assures a competitive template And really, it's been like this for the last month because they won before the bye against Cincy. So, yeah, I do think it's beneficial myself.
Pete, what do you think? Why do you think losing's beneficial?
I'm conditioned differently. I think if you're not going to be a playoff team, you should maximize your draft potential.
Well, how's that worked historically? How's that worked historically for the Jets, Giants, and others?
Well, I mean, that's why we're having this conversation. The Jets haven't done well in the draft in 12 years. I mean, you talked about Idzik before.
But it's not.
I'm having flashbacks, all this draft capital to the Idzik 12-pick draft that,
right, but
two of the guys are in the NFL after that.
Pete, it's not just the Jets. It's other teams as well, and thank you for the call. Teams like the Browns who are always picking atop the draft. So you can have a good draft even if you're not picking atop the draft. But the idea that you need to tank and, well, odds are, we get a better player with the better pick. Not necessarily. I mean, it has been proven. It is fact that is not necessarily the case. Well, how many times do you need to see with both the Jets and Giants? But also throw in other teams who are constantly doing the same thing. So even this year, if you could go back and redraft, would you take, if you're the Giants, would you take Cam Ward or Jaxson Dart? And think about where you got those two. So for everybody saying, whoa, we need to tank so the Giants can get the better quarterback. No, they found one anyway, not even close to tanking. There's always the Jets did suck for Sam and didn't suck enough to where then they had to trade up to be able to select him. They still got the guy that they wanted. How did that work out? So it's not just about that. I could understand both sides of the argument, but what you can't dispute are the facts.
Yes, and just to further the facts a little bit and really, elaborate on why I've changed very abruptly. Like I have shifted my belief system on this. It used to be the exact opposite. All right, but there are certain situations where, and I've said this part before, like you just don't believe in the coach. You want to lose out, bleed out, if you want to use that Yankee terminology that I used a couple of years ago, bleed out so that you would think that it would force the ownership to do something that you want done, meaning get rid of a coach, get rid of a GM, whatever it might, something radical, just a real reset. To me, the worst kind of wins here, right? The worst kind of wins are the ones where people who will not be involved in the future are a central part of that. And while Trevor Lawrence is good, he's not amazing, but think about when the Jets beat the Rams and everything changed with Trevor Lawrence. Who was the star of that game? It was Frank Gore. Frank Gore was like 38 years old getting carries. I'm like, What are we doing? Like, this makes no sense. Yesterday, the guys who made play, I know Tyrod Taylor's the quarter. He's been around 15 years.
No, but still.
Outside of him, clearly, think about the young O-line. Think about the young receiver they got back in the Colts trade. Think about the young tight end. I know Breece Hall wasn't great, but think about Breece Hall. Think about those players. They have been centrally involved in this little recent rash of wins, which is very different than guys who are on their last legs who won't be a part of it next year. So to me, that's a big difference.
Sports Talk on the Fan, presented by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Holy cow! Monday Night Football is on WFAN.
He does throw it down the left sideline for Winston.
The Giants kick off December in Foxborough, taking on the Patriots. 8:15 tonight.
Jameis reaching, fighting it is in for the touchdown.
Bob Papa and Carl Banks have all the play-by-play on the Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
For over 100 years, Sloman's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, they deliver more than just quality fuel. They deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, and 24/7 service, their dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, the Tri-State's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving their community for generations. Give them a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
I'm New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin. Every year, too many lives are lost in alcohol or drug-related crashes. These are preventable tragedies, and it's time to take a stand. Let's make New Jersey's roads safer for everyone. We are all counting on you.
The appetite for destruction returns. Guns N' Roses. World Tour 2026. One night. MetLife Stadium, August 12th. Sign up now through Monday, December 1st for the artist pre-sale at signup.ticketmaster.com/Guns N' Roses.
Health plans with $0 deductible options, virtual care with $0 copays. You'll get that and more. For 41 years, United Healthcare and their Oxford products have been providing solutions and savings for businesses like yours. Visit uhc.com/Oxford to learn more.
This is the story of the one.
As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
New Jersey's got a lot of winter wow. Wows to knock your ski socks off. Wows to warm your soul. And wows to blow your mind. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. The new center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So, I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone, too, for my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family. Drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile.
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible port-ins on essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Since January of 2022, the City of New York has awarded $24 billion in contracts to MWBEs, the most of any U.S. city or state in the nation. Build your business with the City of New York by going to nyc.gov/MWBEs.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
They're brought to you by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. Mets owner Steve Cohen has won approval to operate a casino next to Citi Field. It's one of 3 projects the State Gaming Commission tapped for gambling licenses in the New York City area. The other site's gaining approval at Aqueduct and the golf links at Ferry Point. The Jets beat the Falcons Sunday 27-24, their 3rd win of the season. Nick Folk with the game-winning field goal at the gun. The Sunday night game saw the Broncos beat the Commanders in overtime 27-26 in the week, and the NFL wraps up tonight. Monday Night Football. We'll have it for you right here on the Fan 101.9 FM at 6:15 with pregame coverage, Giants and Patriots from New England. The Knicks beat the Raptors 116-94. Josh Hart almost had the triple-double. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. What was the key to playing so well?
Just discipline. We got a little lazy in certain points of the game, and they're a good team. They made runs, but we were able to kind of weather the storm.
Knicks now 13-6. They send the Raptors down to 14-7. More than that, Hart and the Knicks 10-1 at the Garden.
It's huge, man. This is, the mecca of basketball, the greatest fans in the world. So they come out and show us love and support us, and that's how we reward them.
Hart courtesy of MSG. Meantime, the Nets are home for Charlotte tonight on the Fan 660 AM with coverage at 7:20. The Capitals beat the Islanders 4-1. Devils and Blue Jackets tonight. This report is brought to you by New York City Small Business Services and by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Current temperature brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands Racetrack. Get all your parlays, money line, and prop wagers made at the Meadowlands Racetrack's FanDuel Sportsbook. The #1 sportsbook in North America, 21 plus to wager in Pleasant, New Jersey. Gambling problem, dial 1-800-GAMBLER. It's 40 in Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco on WFAN, now streaming our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
It's Sal back on the Fan. The BT and Sal Show on the Fan, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Giants. We'll get into more of the Giants stuff as we look ahead to Kafka with Jaxson Dart as his QB, new defensive coordinator as well. So at least some intriguing things about tonight's matchup in New England on Monday Night Football. Overall, BT, we're having this conversation before the show. I'm good with where the NFL is at. Now, week to week, we do the power up and the rankings always change. One week it's the Bills are great, and then they're not. The next week it's the Lions or the Eagles, or they're in pick a team, the Chiefs, pick a team, and for the most part, the teams who we thought would be the powerhouses are not. And the teams who we didn't trust really to be consistent, let's say the Broncos or the Patriots. And when I say we, I'm just talking about in general, everybody in general. Nobody thought New England would be 10-2. And even as high on the Broncos as I am, the fact that they're 10-2 and they continue to win, really a shock. The Bears 9-3, shocking performance from me on Black Friday. I didn't think that they had it in them. I like the way that it's wide open and there's a ton of parity in the NFL.
I think this is something you and I fundamentally disagree on, so this should be a fun conversation. And just a little side note, obviously I'm with FanDuel. I've been with FanDuel for a long time. If you are winning money on the NFL this year, God bless you. I mean, the parity to me, that's one element that I just find interesting. I don't know how you're doing it, because every week the results are absolutely jaw-droppingly surprising. I'm just, think about what we do for our power-ups here, Sal. Every Thursday we do it on the show. And we've had wild fluctuations the Eagles don't quite look that good, but they keep winning before they lost recently. Yeah, how do you not put them up there? Or the Bills looked great early, then they stumbled. The Broncos, you were on them early. I didn't really feel them the way you did. Blah, blah, blah. See, to me, I don't like this. I forget about gambling or just the aesthetics of it. And there's been a lot of ugly, sloppy games. I think the NFL, and I feel this way about the NBA as well, less about baseball, but definitely in the NFL. The NFL is at its absolute apex when you've got great head coaches, all-timers, whether it's a Lombardi, a Landry, a Shula, a Walsh, a Parcells, a Belichick, just names I'm throwing out there, or an all-time defense, like LT's Giants, or like the Ravens with Ray Lewis, or the Steel Curtain, or teams like that. There's some good teams out there, and even the great quarterbacks like Mahomes, I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs necessarily. So to me, without a Montana,
that would be bad.
Would be bad. It would be bad for the NFL, but it's very possible based on the math. And they're definitely not winning the division. We know that. So without a Brady or a Montana, front and center right now, I think that the NFL is less interesting. It's competitive, flip a coin. There's a lot of teams in the mix to make the playoffs, but does it have the potency that it usually has for me? The answer is absolutely no.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's wide open and we have no idea. And also going into the playoffs. Now, that's not from a gambler's perspective, or whatever kind of pool you're in, that makes it more tricky, and that I wouldn't like, because anything could happen every week. It just, fend for yourself. Who the hell knows what could happen? You're in the postseason, though, projecting forward, we're going to have a lot of the teams who are the lower seeds, to me, being betting favorites, or teams that you would maybe take a chance on. Let's say the Chiefs do get in. Chiefs have to go to New England for a game. I'm probably taking the Chiefs. You look at the Texans, who all of a sudden they've come on strong. The Bills, those bottom teams in the AFC, I still would take them over some of the top. I don't trust the Jaguars. And even Denver, you saw a little bit last night why you maybe not trust them with Bo Nix as well. So, and I love Denver, but just the point is, you look at the NFC, same thing. Chicago, do I really trust Chicago? Tampa Bay? I don't. So I like the fact that it's kind of wide open, and anybody that gets in the NFC or AFC, I think they're going to have a chance of getting the Super Bowl.
But I don't like that. I don't even think that you're wrong. I would agree. Even some of the other stories, like maybe later developing stories like the Bears, I find that interesting. Right. Especially with a young quarterback and a young coach, and that duo, they very well might be poised moving forward to do, great things in the next couple of years. But even take a team like the Chargers. The Giants beat them. They've been a little confounding this year. Justin Herbert's having surgery on his broken hand.
Is he playing or no?
He's having surgery tomorrow.
I know, but could it be the same thing as Rodgers with the left non-throwing hand?
It could be. I'd have to get a little bit more information, but I just say that because even that situation's a little bit unsettled. I do like the Patriots, but they're not a top-tier team. Talk about Denver. I don't love their quarterback. The Jaguars, all right, they're good, but there's nothing that I look at where I'm like, I've got to watch this game. And just to take it a step further, I think sports, Al, whether it's Tiger versus Phil, or the Yankees and the Red Sox, or the Yankees and the Dodgers in the late 70s, or the Steel Curtain and the Cowboys, or whatever other, however you want to juxtapose historically some of the great teams, when they play each other, and they're so clearly better than most of the other teams, there's a theater that parity can never capture.
We kind of had that, though, for a while with the Chiefs, Bills.
And it was great.
Yeah, Ravens. Okay, but so this is one year where it's wide open. See, I'm not knocking the dynasty era of football where you're trying to beat the one team, kind of like we have in baseball right now. Everybody wants to be able to beat the Dodgers. However, it's unique for me to look at the NFL to where I can, right now, and you could have your opinion, I could have mine, listeners, callers, they could have their opinion, but would you be shocked if I just do a quick run through? Would you be shocked if the Broncos were in the Super Bowl?
No.
Patriots?
No.
Ravens?
I wouldn't be shocked.
Meaning,
I wouldn't be shocked. I don't like them that much, though.
I wouldn't pick them, but would you be shocked?
No, I wouldn't be shocked.
They just got blasted by the Bengals.
And Lamar's got to get healthy, but no, I would not say
Jaguars.
Surprised, but not shocked.
All right, Jaguars. Sounds crazy, dude. They're 8-4.
You know what? Based on their most of their inept history, I'm almost kind of leaning toward saying shocked. But applied to this season, no, I don't think I'd be shocked.
Think about it, right? You don't like Denver as much as I do, and if we're like, no, I wouldn't be shocked if they went to the Super Bowl. But Jacksonville's right there, so
they got 8 wins.
Yeah, me neither. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't pick them, but I wouldn't be shocked.
I agree.
Chargers, you mentioned the Colts at 8-4. Now again, do I expect the Colts to make the Super Bowl? No, but I mean, they're still one of the best teams in the league. Hard to dispute. To your point, you may have the Chiefs on the outside looking in. Look at everybody else: Texans, Bills, Steelers. I mean, that's what we're looking at in the AFC. You could go to the NFC and say the same thing. I don't believe in the Bears. They're 9-3. They're the number 1 seed right now.
I know.
Would you be shocked if they went to the Super Bowl?
I would not see them beating Seattle or a healthy Rams team, so I think I'd be more surprised than some of the AFC scenarios, but I'm still not going to say shocked.
Rams probably still the favorite, right?
Yep.
Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, they don't look to be the team. I mean,
Seahawks. Would you be shocked if the Packers went to the Super Bowl?
Shocked? No.
Me neither.
Not shocked.
Niners.
No, not shocked.
The Bucs. I don't think the Bucs are getting it, but the Bucs.
And by the way, just real quick on the Bucs. I love Baker Mayfield. This guy is a beast, bro.
I wish we had him at one of these two teams.
He's so tough.
Easy to root for, tough as nails.
Yep.
Now, I wouldn't pick them to go, but
no way.
Could you be shocked if the Bucs beat the Bears in a playoff game?
No, I'd be shocked if I think I would use the word shocked. I'd be fairly shocked, or as shocked as I could be given all the scenarios, if Tampa went up to Seattle or out and up to Seattle and beat them, or out west and beat the Rams. Like, I think there'd be an element of being. No, that's true.
That's the other point.
If they win the division.
Well, right. Which the Bucs are going to win their division in all likelihood. And if they don't, guess who's going to win it? The Panthers.
The Panthers. I know. That would have shocked me before the year. If you said, hey, the Panthers are going to win the division, knowing that it's kind of a weak division, that would still shock me. Because Bryce Young hadn't shown anything.
I mean, they've got 7 wins. So you have Jaden Daniels and the injury with the Commanders, so they have come back down to earth. The Lions are not what they are. The Cowboys are starting to build their way back up. There is no doubt. The Eagles have clearly flaws. You've seen that the last couple of weeks. The Bears is hard to truly believe in. I think the Rams are the most consistent, probably best bet, but that doesn't mean that they're going to win. I picked the Niners a couple of weeks ago to be the team to go to the Super Bowl. But point is, I mean, there's a handful of teams in each conference that you can't say you'd be shocked if they represented their conference in the Super Bowl.
Think about this, though. I'm not saying that there's not a shortage of very interesting stories, very compelling storylines. And by the way, whether it's Caleb and Ben Johnson, whether it's, maybe Trevor Lawrence has finally found it. Maybe some of these situations that don't seem fully believable now, maybe in a year or two, they are much more believable, and we've got the beginning of a seismic shift in terms of dominance in the NFL, and that would feel a little bit different than now where there's a lot of parity. But I'm going to go back. I usually go to golf analogies. I'm going to go to boxing now. Not even an analogy, just a comparison. Think about the complaint. I thought he was a very good champion, right? And I used to love boxing. Lennox Lewis never got the respect that I thought he really did. I don't know if you agree with that.
I didn't like him.
I didn't like him in real time either.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I'm one of those who probably never gave him the respect that he should deserve just because he wasn't. Tyson. Exactly.
Fair enough. And the dissenting views and voices were loud and strong, and to an extent still there. Although I think over time, and especially the way the heavyweight market's been since then, I think he's got maybe some retroactive points, if you will. My point is, Lennox Lewis is a heavyweight champion versus Mike Tyson or Ali or all the where it's the one punch knockout possibility where there's a fear factor, there's an intrigue when some of those boxers I mentioned, when they're walking into the ring in their prime, you're saying there's no way they're going to lose. And if they're in the middle rounds, like even like 5th or 6th round, and it's a tight contest, you're like, woof. Like it represents the highest level to me of suspense and intrigue in sports. Even the first Final Four that I ever remember really truly watching with Georgetown and Ewing, and Villanova beat them in 85. Like Georgetown was untouched, but they smoked Mullen, St. John's team, beat them by 25, and that team was number 1 in the country for a while. That represented me being stunned as a young sports fan, right? Or even the Tiger Phil stuff that I threw out before. I'm not saying I'm not enjoying the NFL season. I'm saying I don't enjoy it as much because to me, the great intrigue of a Titan being unexpectedly beaten is not really there because there are no Titans right now. And I prefer an NBA and an NFL with Titans. I would say this, that if the Chiefs don't make the postseason, that will be a disaster for the NFL. You at least need them in to get knocked out. You can't have a postseason without the Chiefs. Dude, they're in trouble here. They might. Now, I still think they're going to make it, but they're in trouble here. 6-6. I thought they would win that game against Dallas. I was 0-3 this week, by the way, with the picks. I thought they were going to win that game against Dallas. They didn't. I still got to believe they're going to find a way, whereas Pittsburgh, to me, is not that good. The problem is who's coming down. Is it the Colts? I mean, right now they're 10th. Yeah, I'm looking at the standings, the Texans are better, and I think that the way the Texans have played defense, dude, they've got one more win than the Dolphins. How's that to summarize where they're at? Who's coming down? And the same thing. I think the Colts are coming down. Okay. I do. They've lost 2 straight. That's one. You're going to need another one. Meaning, but I don't know if they'll come down enough where they're not a playoff team. I just think it'll be interesting. Somebody's got to win the North. Yeah, that's true. It's probably going to be the Ravens. The Steelers, though, and I'm not taking them seriously at all. Why would you? But even if the Steelers just to show you how complicated Kansas City's road is, even if the Steelers finish tied with the Chiefs and they're both 6-6, the Steelers have the tiebreaker. Yeah. Like the road based on a winning percentage in conference games, which is what they're going to. So to me, the Chiefs in the 10 spot at 6-6, like if I had a bet now, I don't think they're making. And I said this 2 weeks ago. I know. I thought it was possible. I feel even more strongly about it now, and I don't want to feel that way because that's one of the quarterbacks that I do want to watch, and Mahomes, and obviously Andy Reid. I would also like to see Dallas in the postseason just because I think it's a great draw. But if Detroit's not in, that would be a disaster. Now Detroit hasn't been very good. I mean, 7-5, whatever, it's fine, but not as good as they should be. But if they don't get in, I mean, think about it, dude. But these teams in the NFC, they're all kind of jumbled together, and the same thing with the AFC. So I like a part of it, but if you don't have those top teams in it, then it's going to hurt the playoffs. Okay, Detroit's a great example. I'm happy you bring them up. Now, in the context of what we thought would happen going into the season, I'm stunned where the Lions are. I'm stunned. Like, this is really stunning. But in the context of what I'm presenting to you, do you really need to watch Dan Campbell coach? Do you really need to watch Jared Goff play quarterback? My answer is a sound. Now, I like the story, and I like the blue-collar city. They were one of the best teams in the league last year. Yeah, but I'm not saying they don't have a good play. Gibbs is a beast. Their tight end is great. Receivers, I'm not saying that. But if you think about what truly sells in the NFL, isn't it always either the great quarterback tied into the transcendent Hall of Fame coach, like a Montana Walsh, something like that? Right, which is why we don't want to see Seattle in there. I mean, that's one of those. True, or an all-time great defense like where there's such intrigue. Are they going to give up a touchdown like the Ravens, or like Parcells with LT, or like the '85 Bears, or the Purple People? I know they didn't win a Super Bowl, but they went to 4 of them in the '70s, or the Steel Curtain. I don't know. There's just not. There's no historical. There's intrigue because I'm confused. There's no historical intrigue this year for me. Yeah, just looking at it, I don't see a way the Lions are getting in. I think it's more likely the Chiefs get in than the Lions. How the hell are the Lions getting in? Let me get to. I've been focusing more on the AFC. Let me bounce over to the NFC. They're 2 games behind the Bears. Yep. They've gotten beat twice by the Packers, and they're a game behind, or 2 games behind them, a game and a half. 2 in the loss column behind them. How are the Lions getting over? You might be right. I'm looking up at this now. You see what I'm saying? I do. Niners are in that last spot, and they've got 2 more wins, and they should have their. I mean, they've got. Yeah, I mean, Niners have 9 wins. The Lions have 7. There's a good chance that the Detroit Lions are. I mean, what's their schedule? Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Right,
Detroit.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm just curious. Even that's not a good barometer.
The Cowboys this week, which is basically an elimination game.
That's a Thursday night game, right? Isn't that? That's prime time. It should be Thursday.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, good. All right, so you got Dallas. What else do you have? Flip a coin.
That is a huge
That's
game.
a massive game.
At the Rams.
Loss.
Home against the Steelers.
Should win.
At Minnesota.
Vikings stink.
And at Chicago.
That's probably going to be a flex game. I would think the Bears game.
Potentially.
Week 18,
TBD.
game 17.
Yeah, now remember, too, while we talk about the parity, and you could say that it's not good, I could say that it's good, this is exactly what the league wants when Detroit or Kansas City have difficult schedules. Like, nobody's making excuses, but in a league that is supposed to be parity every Sunday, and if you have a schedule that's more on the difficult side, like, look at Kansas City's schedule to start. It was so difficult that it's like, man, you almost kind of excuse some of the losing here.
Kansas City.
And they just never were able to recover, but that is by design. All right, Chargers, Eagles, at Giants, whatever. Ravens, now, again, this is going into the beginning of the year. At Jaguars, home against the Lions. Like, there was really no breather there.
Yeah, but hold on. They had the Giants and the Raiders 2 of their first 7 games.
Yeah, and they won those 2, but they were only 2 to start.
Yeah.
They're taking on the Chargers, difficult matchup, but again, that's a division thing.
Then they got the Commanders without Jaden Daniels. And by the way, did Lamar Jackson play in that Week 4 game? When did he get hurt? I'm going to pop up the box score here. I feel like he did, but yeah, he did. And he didn't play well. 14 for 20, a touchdown, a pick. So, I don't know. I feel like one thing I will say, and I'll give a little credence to the intrigue for those who like what's going on right now in the NFL. I don't, but some of you do. You will never see this in the NBA or baseball.
Right.
You will not see like all the perceived heavyweights in the NBA be looking outside of the playoffs. And you might not be the top seed, but you're not going to be the 10th seed like we have with some of these teams now. And you won't see that in baseball where the smaller market teams with lower payrolls who are expected to be, fringe, 75, 80, 82 win teams setting the pace. Like, this is unique, and I can see why uniqueness would be appealing for some, but in totality, I think the NFL's at its strongest. Give me some elite Hall of Fame all-time coaches. Give me the great quarterbacks who are ripping up the record book. And the one who's knocking on Brady's door might not even be in the playoffs this year, Mahomes.
BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019. WFAN NFL Football is powered by Verizon. Get to your local Verizon store today.
After beating UNLV Thursday in Las Vegas, Rutgers is back home at Jersey Mike's Arena. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join myself and Chris Carlin as the Scarlet Knights play host to the #1 team in the country, the Purdue Boilermakers, in their Big Ten opener. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m., right here on the Fan, 101.9 FM, and the free Odyssey app.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all of your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who will win. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers a 30% profit boost token. That's right, you get in on all the action with a 30% profit boost token this Monday night. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/Boomer to bet on the game. That's FanDuel.com/Boomer to get in on all the action with a 30% profit boost token this Monday night. Now, we all love the app around here. It is safe and secure. When you win, you get paid instantly. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is also the official partner of WFAN.
21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issues non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
One choice can change everything. The New York City Department of Transportation reminds drivers to slow down and yield to pedestrians. You can't rewind a crash.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Come visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers at any one of their 6 locations.
Find excellence in every detail in a new Volvo. At Volvo Cars Ramsey, 8-time winner of the Volvo Excellence Award. Choose from excellent offers on a new Volvo XC40, XC60, or a new 2025 Volvo XC90. View our entire inventory at VolvoCarsRamsey.com. Find excellence in a new Volvo at Volvo Cars Ramsey, where it's all about you.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sun and clouds, high 41, low 31.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have an easy holiday at Staples. Save on top tech and gaming gifts, shipping supplies and services to get your packages there safely, even custom cards and wrapping paper. Staples. That was easy.
The all-new Giants mobile app presented by DraftKings is your home for highlights, breaking news, exclusive features, and inside access to the New York Giants. Watch Big Blue Kickoff live every weekday afternoon at 12:30, plus every press conference, locker room interview, and podcast. If you're coming to the game, check out the Pocket Game Day Hub in the Giants app for live camera angles, interactive games, mobile food ordering, and more. Download the Giants official mobile app presented by DraftKings for free at the App Store and Google Play.
It's the Kia season of New Traditions sales event. So don't just hang your own lights. Venture out and look for the northern lights. Drink cocoa on the beach. Or be a drive-by karaoke caroler. Because every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. So you can take holidays to places they've never been. See your local Kia dealer or visit Kia.com to learn more. Kia, movement that inspires.
See Kia dealer for warranty details. Event ends 12/1/25.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
BT and Sal back on the Fan. 888-808-1019 is the number to call on this Monday morning. Let's get back to the calls here, BT. We're doing a little NFL before we'll get into the Giants and obviously some baseball stuff. The latest baseball thing that I saw was that the Mets are, quote, this is according to Jeff Passan, in the mix for Kyle Schwarber. You know, the idea that the Mets wouldn't be in the mix for any of the top players is absurd to me. So I'm not going to go nuts and be like, whoa, the Mets are going to get Schwarber. I don't believe they're going to get Schwarber. I don't believe it's a fit. And as a matter of fact, I would believe that comes from an agent as opposed to from the Mets. It just doesn't make baseball sense that David Stearns is going to invest in Kyle Schwarber to be a DH when they're going to value versatility and defense.
Unless the plan is to let Pete go, and then you bring in Schwarber as your DH, and you try to find a smooth fielding first baseman.
Yeah, but that still doesn't make sense because you're going to have to pay Schwarber either the same or...
Not as many years, though.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Okay.
I think Schwarber gets 4 years. I think I wouldn't give Pete 6, but I think he's going to wind up getting 6.
Yeah.
I do.
You think Pete's getting it?
I think Pete's getting
that's
6
what I'm
years.
saying. Well, I think...
And you know Schwarber's not.
Well, I understand it, but he's not the player that Pete is. Plus, he's not proven.
He's almost 60
in New York.
home runs.
Yeah, offensively.
He's a great hitter. But if you bring him into DH, that's all you need him to do.
If you're of the belief, and I know you are, and there are a lot of people, if you're of the belief that Stearns doesn't love Alonso, why would he love Kyle Schwarber?
Well, because Schwarber's not going to be playing first base. He's going to be DHing.
I know, but then you have...
Now you got to find another first base. Is that Bellinger? There's not many other first basemen out there, so I'm not even sure how plausible that is. Now, listen, I'm going to also meet you halfway in the road here. I mean, half of the stuff, it's clickbait. Go to any website, any tweet, or not any, but a lot of these. I don't want to mischaracterize some legitimate journalism here and reporting. But I think that a lot of this is agents doing their jobs. I mean, they're drumming up interest for their clients. The more their names are bandied about and talked about on local shows and tweeted and retweeted and tweeted and quote tweeted, well, you get a little traction and maybe in the eyes of somebody creates a more robust market than there really is. And then maybe, I mean, the end game is basically to compel the team to do something they don't want to do, which would be more AAV or an extra year or two. But one thing we know about Schwarber, he's getting 3 or 4 years from somebody, and I would love to see him in a New York uniform. I love Kyle Schwarber.
Think about it from Schwarber's perspective. Yeah, I think the Mets and Yankees should have gotten him years ago. This time, I don't know. Think about it from Schwarber's perspective. If it's leaked that there are going to be teams who have legitimate interest in him, and if it's leaked that the Mets are, quote, in the mix, you would think it's going to drive the price up. So that's what he would want. Now, look, maybe I'm dead wrong on here. I firmly believe the Mets would have zero interest in Kyle Schwarber. I'm not saying that they wouldn't, just like circle the wagons or kick the tires a little bit to see what the parameters would be. I would have a hard time believing they're going to choose Schwarber over bringing back Pete Alonso.
I'll tell you, I know we tease we'll do this later. Yeah. I love this baseball stuff, man. It's going to be fun. We'll get to it later.
Yeah, there's a lot more. Obviously, the article from the Post talking about Lindor and Soto and Lindor and McNeil. Sports Talk on the Fan, presented by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Let's get some calls in here. Kenny's on Staten Island. What's up, Kenny?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Kenny?
ET, and glad you enjoyed your Dallas trip. I remember that.
Yes.
Pick six drop. I saw Scarner out there.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Stonehands Gardner.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We got rid of him.
Yep.
Might lead to a quarterback. We'll see. But listen, Dal, I heard you say the Jets don't have to draft a quarterback this year. They have to.
Why?
You can't just you can't go another year waiting on somebody. We got to find out sooner or later if we have a quarterback. Listen, Moogie put us in a situation where we have the ammunition to move up. Me personally, I think the Titans, if they get one, the Giants go to 2. I think they're going to try to get the Ohio State receiver. They're going to pick the receiver to go with their quarterback. So the Jets are going to probably have
but
to move up 3 slots.
Kenny, the point is, why would you want them to force the issue if they don't love a quarterback? And maybe they do.
No, not force the issue, but the way they're thinking right now is if there's a quarterback there that they just want to go grab, you have the draft capital now to do it. You got to draft a quarterback in this draft. And there's going to be probably 3 quarterbacks if Mendoza's not there, depending on who declares by January 15th.
Sure.
They got to start bringing somebody in here. And if they do, is the route they go the same route as the Giants, where whoever they pick does not start and Tyrod is the starter next year?
Could be.
And then 4 to 5 weeks in, you got to play the kid? I have no problem with that because you got to remember, besides the Jets having draft capital, they can fill the needs at linebacker, at safety, at cornerback, because they're going to have the salary cap. They're going to have a lot of money to play with.
Yeah, they're going to have among the top 3 money in terms of free agency. But hold on, Kenny, I just disagree with your premise, and thanks for the call. I respect your premise. I don't agree with it because I think you're viewing it through the wrong prism, which, by the way, is very easy to do as a Jets fan. I get that because I've done that a lot as well. But what Kenny's doing is he's got his he's looking through that little keyhole and he's seeing 50 years of Jets torture, which in his mind is saying, you got to find the quarterback. You got to do it now. You got to fix this. Whereas the real proper prism would be the one that Muji and Glenn are now looking at, which is a 1-year prism, not a 50-year prism. They're not sitting here saying, oh, the fake spike. Oh, God, 1 win with Cote. They're thinking about this year and the future. And so to me, when you say you can't kick it down the road another year, I think that's nuts. I think that creates more problems by forcing the issue.
Everybody says, maybe not everybody, but the majority of people, you got to get a quarterback, For years, it's the same thing. Got to get a quarterback. Nobody's calling up saying, got to build a foundation. That's what you need to do, is build a foundation. Finally, they have 2 guys that know that you need to build the foundation first. I don't know how many times you're going to get hit over the head with it to realize it's not working. You've had multiple quarterbacks that have gone on elsewhere and have success elsewhere. I'm talking about both the Jets and the Giants. We've seen that plenty of times before. Look around the league as well. Cleveland, the same thing. And you hate to lump the Jets and Giants and Cleveland in, but those have been the 3 primary losers in the NFL for a long time now. Build the foundation first, then you bring a quarterback in so he could be set up to have success for a change. It could be next year, Maybe it's year 3. Now, I would not kick the can down the road beyond year 3, and it doesn't mean you have to take a quarterback in the draft. You could go trade for one like the Lions did with Jared Goff.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons, once we got over being stunned by the news of the Gardner trade, which happened when you and I were on the air. Almost every trade does, it seems, or firing, which is always interesting. To me, I remember the first thing that I said once I found out all the details, maybe not the first thing like live, although I like the trade, when I was able to step back, compartmentalize everything the Jets did, not only would it set them up for any draft, and just about anybody they want to draft based on the ability to take picks, move up, and be aggressive, but they're going to be centrally in the middle of every big NFL trade conversation, and that includes situations we're not even thinking about right now. Now, the Jaguars have stabilized things. I'm sure they're higher on Trevor Lawrence now than they were maybe at the end of last year or whatever, but, whether it's a Trevor Lawrence, I don't know, just whether it's a Mac Jones on a much lower scale for a year, it's a bridge. Now, bridges don't sound sexy, but as you build the other stuff around it, it becomes a bicycle that is ready to be ridden rather than just a piece of metal with no tires, which is what Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold tried to ride.
Larry calling from Medford. What's up, Larry?
Hey, guys. You were talking before about people going to the Jet game.
Mm-hmm.
Who would go to the Jet game yesterday?
Yeah, it came up, sure.
Yeah. No, I was laughing with my wife about it yesterday, too, because she was like, my brother-in-law was at the game. I'm like, why the hell would you go to the Jet game on a day like today? But it turns out that his nephew served, in the service in Afghanistan, did a couple tours, and he's a New York City fireman, and he was being honored at the game yesterday.
That's a different reason. Of course, that's phenomenal. Good for him. God bless him. I love that.
Yeah. They said, they showed him walking out. My brother-in-law brought, was carrying the flag out and everything. So I'm like,
I think we're
chopping up a little bit there.
Bad line there.
Now, by the way, I went a couple of weeks. I went to the Browns game, and it was raining. What a surprise! I think it does rain every November and December game at MetLife for the last 10 years or so. But I was I was locked into going to the next game. But then I got the email. My son's travel basketball team coach put out a practice. They're going to practice on Sunday. So it's like it's a little baby wreck. It's travel, and you commit. You're responsible. You go. You show up. So we're not going to go. But we were going to go as a family again. We genuinely had a good time. And the thing that I said about MetLife is that, I can't stand the outside, and getting there's a pain in the ass. You got to either leave early or leave really late after a game because traffic is logistically it's a nightmare. But once you're in the stadium, the experience at MetLife is actually not as bad as I think it's been perceived to be. But yeah, and listen, some people get free tickets, so that they're going to go no matter what. I get it. There's a lot of reasons to go.
Yeah, but
you got to be a diehard
for the game. Well, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to go to a football game, sure, I guess. But in the bad weather, Black Friday, Thanksgiving holiday weekend, the traffic that they bring, plus the Falcons, like a nondescript, pathetic opponent. You to me couldn't draw up a worse. Look, Miami this weekend, different story. You hate Miami forever. It's the Dolphins, Jets, Dolphins. At least there's a little bit of a rivalry. You could draw that up. The Jets, Falcons, Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
On a rainy, cold day at MetLife.
Well, we finally got the rematch that you're convinced would have went your way, and I'm convinced would have gone my way. The 98, the Jets beat the Broncos, get to the Super Bowl. I'm convinced the Jets would have smacked that Falcons team, and you've been saying
chance.
no way.
No, that would have been my best shot of the Super Bowl in 1998. They were taking down Parcells of the Jets. BT and Sal, the Fan, 888-808-1019, and the number to call.
Oh, God, I really thought that was the year. To the point where I actually remember when you go to games and you sign up for a credit card and you get a T-shirt. I used to do that all the time. Right? Then I have like 9 credit cards and not $1 in my account. Anyway, real quick, and I signed up and I got my first Jets credit card, and like the mush, I went on my parents, because I was still living at home, their computer during halftime of the Broncos-Jets game to look for Super Bowl tickets, and I was going to use my new Jets credit card. That was going to be my first purchase.
Wow.
And they lost. Oh, God. Hey, guys, this winter, there's a little more fun. Celebrate the joy of the season in a new all-electric SUV from Cadillac. Make every drive exciting with the innovative technology and the optic. Arrive confidently also in the sophisticated stylings of Lyrics. We've had them. We both got a chance to spin the all-electric SUVs around, and they are awesome, and we had a blast. And I want another one. Let's go, Cadillac. Send me one.
Dude, so my sister, they came over. I saw them this weekend.
Yeah, little Joey in the house.
She was asking about the Cadillac. because her dream car is the Cadillac
Escalade.
Yeah, the one that you had.
Oh, the IQ.
Cadillac IQ.
I hope she makes a few bucks. It ain't cheap.
I go, BT had that one.
I did.
And she's like, oh, it looks incredible. I'm like, yeah, he loved it. And then told her how much it cost.
And she's now going to stick with something else. No, but Cadillac's affordable, but the Escalade IQ,
but I said,
that's up there a little bit.
I said you loved it. You can discover the comfort of the spacious 3-row Vistic as well. Experience EV luxury like never before at the season's best sales event. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer. The BT and South Show is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Giants.
It's Boomer and Gio. Mornings on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
I don't know who the consensus number one overall pick is. I know the Jets are going to have to pick a quarterback. Maybe they'd still get their guy like the Giants did with Jaxson Dart later in the first round.
Listen to Boomer and Gio on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Lane Kiffin is ditching Ole Miss for LSU right as the Rebels are playoff bound, and somehow the school and the coach let this drama drag on all weekend. Instead of putting players first, Ole Miss waffled on whether Kiffin could finish the season, while Kiffin himself stalled and hedged. The people who paid the price for all this indecision, of course, the players who have earned this historic run. I'm Maggie Gray.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-922-1284. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284. 800-922-1284.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
Looking for the lowest price on name brand tires? Get to Town Fair Tire and get the guaranteed lowest price on any name brand tire. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Hey, New Jersey, now's the time to enroll in quality, affordable health coverage through Get Covered New Jersey. All plans provide free preventive care, coverage for prescriptions, emergency services, and more. Plus, 8 in 10 get financial help to lower monthly costs. If you have questions or need help enrolling, Get Covered New Jersey is here for you. Hurry, open enrollment is happening now. Enroll by December 31st for January 1st coverage at getcovered.nj.gov. Getcovered.nj.gov.
For over 100 years, Sloman's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, they deliver more than just quality fuel. They deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, and 24/7 service, their dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, the Tri-State's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving their community for generations. Give them a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
HL Gross Jewelers of Garden City is Long Island's premier engagement and wedding ring destination. Visit HL Gross today or online at hlgross.com.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Nada que ver. Bring in a bill from AT&T or T-Mobile to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. ¿Y ahora? ¿Qué vas a hacer with all those unwanted bills? Pues, how about a full-scale origami version of the Statue of Liberty? Fuera de broma. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to your local Verizon store in New York City today and we'll give you a better deal for you and tu familia. Rankings based on RootMetrics root score report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Requires postpaid consumer mobile bill from T-Mobile or AT&T dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms apply.
Once upon a time, Dunkin' made the perfect donut, and from its center came something even better. Dunkin' Munchkins, tiny bites of joy made from the dough they scooped right out of the middle. This holiday season, Dunkin' Munchkins remind us that even the smallest of things can mean the most, like laughing with friends or enjoying the last munchkin in the box. So grab a box of 3, 5, 25, or 50. Share them, gift them, or just keep them all to yourself. We won't tell. It's Dunkin' Munchkins, proof that something so small can be the best bite of all. The holidays run on Dunkin'. Health plans with $0 deductible options, virtual care with $0 copays. You'll get that and more. For 41 years, United Healthcare and their Oxford products have been providing solutions and savings for businesses like yours. Visit uhc.com/Oxford to learn more.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Back on the Fan. Monday Night Football will feature Big Blue, Lane Kiffin, I almost just said, Jaxson Dart, Mike Kafka. I mean, we get into Lane Kiffin as well. I have that on my notes with him. Obviously bolting,
it all.
so we can get into that. But anyway, Mike Kafka and Jaxson Dart, and I'm looking forward to it. It did make me think, though, over the weekend. You know, we've talked a lot about Tomlin being a possibility for the Giants' next head coach, and maybe Steelers fans. Because I look at Tomlin, I'm like, man, he's a great head coach. Who wouldn't want him? But maybe Steelers fans look at Tomlin the way that we look at Brian Cashman, being here forever and, yes, having success, but not enough, and not being able to get over the hump in a while. And at times, you know, it's just, okay, not that it's run its course, but maybe just time for a new voice, a new vision. Maybe that's where they're at in Pittsburgh. And if he did become available, would their leftovers or whatever, the guy that they kicked to the curb, would that be appealing to you from a Giants perspective, hiring Mike Tomlin?
Oh, boy. I love Mike Tomlin. I really do. He's got to change things up here. I think they've got to change things up here. That's their problem, not ours. This is about the Giants. You know, when he took the job, though, he was 35 years old in Pittsburgh. He's going to be 53. He's going to be 54.
Yeah.
A long time. And I think that's a very, very interesting way of looking at it, whether it's a Cashman or you want to say even Aaron Boone, or imagine Tom Thibodeau, like if Tom was still here and maybe here a couple of years longer than he actually was.
Right, like he's not getting fired because he's not a good coach.
No. It's the expectations of a fan base that expect more. So what seems very desirable to us as Jets and Giants fans does not seem as nearly as desirable to Steeler fans, which I totally get. And this is what you say about the whole Yankee Met thing too. And you're right. Like, hey, listen, Yankee fans, that's one expectation. The Met fans, you would love to have that. And then if you get that for too long, then you react to having it for too long without actually winning a championship, which is the criticism of the Yankees right now. So it's all relative to your situation and expectations. I think Mike Tomlin is awesome. I just don't think the team has a ton of talent. The defense was supposed to be great. Their defense is getting shredded.
I mean,
last couple games.
Run on last night or yesterday afternoon to a point where it hasn't happened before in that building. So now the Bills are a good football team, but still no excuse. Yeah, they just haven't been good enough. Rodgers is, older and slower, and he's not perfect either. So that was a beating that the Bills put on them, certainly in that second half yesterday. But the point is, maybe there is, it's been going on for a long time. Maybe there is a thought that Tomlin would become available. But if it is like Cashman and Yankees ownership is thinking, well, no, we'd rather take the chance in the postseason and win consistently and always be there and hope to get over the hump one or two times. Maybe the Steelers are thinking the same thing. Well, if we fire him, where are we going? Who are we hiring to be a head coach is going to have us the sustained success that Tomlin was able to have?
I don't know that answer. I really don't. Listen, they're a really quality organization, so they'll figure it out. They usually do. it's funny too because the more I think about this, and that, really, it's a good job by you with the analogy of like a Cashman, because not only has he not won in so long, but he won so long, like he won so long ago.
Yeah.
And you go back. I mean, they won the Super Bowl in year 2, and then they won the AFC and got back to the Super Bowl in 2010. It's going to be 2026 next season. Now, there's a lot
That was when they lost to the Packers? Yes, right? Yeah, Roger.
Yep. And there's a lot of, 12-win seasons and 11-win seasons and a couple of 10-win seasons recently, But that has an expiration point, and I just, they have been clamoring in Pittsburgh. I'm sure Gio would, know all about this. I don't have to ask them, what they're saying out there because he used to work there. But I think the last couple of years, Steeler fans are open to change. Now I think they want change, especially if they don't make the playoffs this year. And at 6-6, they probably won't, unless they win the division, which is not very good.
Rami, who's filling in for Hoff today, he just told me that they were chanting "Fire Tomlin" at the game yesterday. I did not notice
really?
that.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on. This has been going on for a while.
Yeah, I don't like that though.
Me neither. Come on,
Tomlin's
guy won you a Super Bowl,
terrific.
never has a losing season. I hope they do move on from Tomlin, and the Steeler fans get what they want. And then what? And then it's going to turn into a disaster when you do that. Now, to me, Cashman, a little bit of a different story because he's a GM versus the head coach, and the way that he has put together the team, to me, just has not been good enough. With Tomlin, I don't know the inner workings of what's going on with the Steelers, but to me, he's going to be a great head coach wherever he goes, especially if he's working with somebody who knows what they're doing, putting together the roster.
I would think so. And if he goes somewhere else, he would have complete juice, I would imagine, because I don't think he would agree to another job without, a large say in, personnel decisions, who they draft, free agency, and stuff like that. The other thing, too, is, and this...
You put him in a spot with Jaxson Dart in place... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or a young quarterback,
absolutely,
he's going to win. He knows how to build a winning
Yeah,
football
there's
team.
no question. Giant fans, and plus how much fun would we have with these press conferences, but the energy that he emits, we really, that resonates with us as New Yorkers. But the other thing, too, is shouldn't this be another reminder that without a quarterback, you're just not doing anything? What's the correlation to the down years for Mike Tomlin? Mason Rudolph, an older Aaron Rodgers, whereas, this goes back to the whole Brady-Belichick, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's obviously opinion-driven, but if you say, who was more important? Was it Brady for Belichick or Belichick for Brady? I've always said that it's Brady for Belichick because without Brady, Belichick wasn't quite what he was with Brady, and you could say the same thing about Mike Tomlin. Now, I respect the other point of view because I can't disprove it. It's an opinion, but that's always been my opinion, and to a lesser extent, this is what Mike Tomlin's dealing with. Subpar quarterback play, you don't win.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. Obviously, I'm just looking over since Ben Roethlisberger, and it was a declining Ben Roethlisberger. So then everybody's going to have the argument, well, was it Tomlin being just like we do with Belichick? Well, was it Tomlin being a great head coach, or was it the fact that he had a great quarterback with Ben Roethlisberger, and then he has not been able to find that next one and develop him? So I still think he's a great head coach just because you could see the team and how hard that they play and how consistent that they've been, the defense and their system, but that's been a system in Pittsburgh for a long time, which is why they don't fire head coaches. It's been continuity there. Maybe it's time for change. If they do, I think the Giants would benefit greatly from being able to land Tomlin.
Okay, so we agree on that for the Giants. I still think Kafka's got a little bit of a chance here. I think they're trying to find reasons to keep him, but we'll see. Let me ask you this. Let's say the Steelers were not going to fire Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
But they could be incentivized to trade Mike Tomlin. Would you be willing to give up a first-round pick and maybe more for Mike Tomlin if you're the Giants?
Great question. I hate to give up a pick for a coach.
I feel like my answer would be no at that point.
Yeah, especially,
I don't know if he's worth that.
Especially one that I'm not, this is not Parcells.
I know, and that's why I'm asking.
Andy Reid.
Yep.
Now, I love Tomlin. Matter of fact, I did the show on Wednesday. I was saying, I've made my decision. I want Belichick. That's my guy.
For the Giants.
Correct.
Now, do you want him? You don't think he's coming, though?
No.
Okay.
Whether it's realistic or not is irrelevant. My definitive answer for the next head coach of the NYG would be BB. I want Bill Belichick. But that's a scenario where Tomlin's not available because he's not right now. If Tomlin becomes available, he would be my first choice. So I would consider it. I mean, God, I'd hate to have to give up a first because then you just, the Giants need so much to me. Everybody can say that they're close, but they're not trying to give up. Plus, that's a top pick. I mean, you're not just talking about a first round pick. You're talking about a top first round pick.
Maybe there's a way to split the difference, a future pick, whatever. Maybe a couple of twos. Well, they can negotiate that, but to me, there's only
right now the Giants are third overall.
Wow,
Come on,
that's
dude.
tough. and they could trade back because they don't, and they probably will trade back because they don't need the quarterback, which means they'll have a lot more capital to work with. So, yeah, I wouldn't trade for Mike Tomlin. I think there's only 2 head coaches that I would give up almost anything to bring into my building. One would be McVay.
Yep.
One would be Andy Reid, and I think that's the end of my list. Am I missing? I don't think I'm not Jim Harbaugh, not John Harbaugh.
Either of the Harbaughs.
No, I mean I like them both, but not. I'm talking trades where it's like a first round top 10 pick.
I mean, if you're not doing it for Tomlin,
no, I'm not doing it for Mike. Not to that extent.
Sean Payton.
Not at this point. I don't think I would do it.
I'd do it. Now he would never.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to leave.
Denver.
Wow. I mean, I love Payton. I hated Sean Payton for years when he was the Saints head coach. But the guy knows what he's doing. He's a program builder. He is the clear Parcells disciple. Forget Belichick. I just look at him on his own tree. I'm talking about Payton, who learned under Parcells. I mean, McVay, yes.
What about Shanahan?
That was the next one I was going to go to, Shanahan.
He's another guy without a quarterback. They don't seem to win as much. I know they've had some injuries.
Give
and
a pick for Vrabel?
Yeah, that's the guy that I really wanted the Jets to get before I was okay with Aaron.
Giving up a pick.
I love Vrabel.
I'm not giving up a pick for Vrabel. I'm not giving up a pick, probably not for Shannon. McVay, without a question, I'm doing it.
Yep.
And I'm doing it for, obviously, Andy Reid. I would do it.
I think that's my list. 2 guys. That's it.
LaFleur.
No. Now, if they fired him, and there's some whispers out of Green Bay that they could, that's somebody the Giants should and will talk to, but I'm not trading for LaFleur. I like him too, but I'm not trading for him.
I would go Payton, Reid, McVay. That's probably my list.
So you got one more. I'm not saying I couldn't be talked to. Like, if it was with Payton, I'm going to keep my list at 2. I think Payton's a tick below the other 2, but he's close. I mean, he's terrific.
Freddie is calling from Springfield, New Jersey. What's up, Freddie?
What's up, Fred?
How you doing, fellas?
Hey, Freddie.
Yeah. You guys earlier were talking about tanking. And, I know the coaches decide to do that or the franchise.
Yeah.
And players, I don't think are part of it.
I agree.
But don't you think the players kind of know what's going on, and it takes away the incentive from them?
No.
Which means they won't play as hard, which means they can get hurt.
I don't think so. Well, I do think if you're going out there and you're half-assing it, like I think you can get away with that in the NBA. If you do that in the NFL, you're going to be, God forbid, carried off on a stretcher. So I think,
that's my point.
No. Well, here's the thing. Let me dispel one common misconception about tanking. I've never thought, and Freddie, thank you for the call. I've never, Sal, tell me if you agree. I've never once attached that to the players. To me, it's an organizational thing where they get rid of assets and players and contracts, but, players that can make you a little competitive, but not enough to win anything, and they strip it down like the Nets. Mm-hmm. That's tanking. That is organizational, whether it's a reset, an overhaul, or a structure, a tanking, whatever word you want to use, that is applicable there. I don't think that the players ever subscribe to that. Now, that doesn't mean that some players, forget about tanking, are like, we're 2-10, we stink, I don't even know if we're going to be brought back next year, and maybe they're a little lackluster in practice. I think that that's human nature. But no, I do not believe players have ever tanked. Organizations, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that because to the caller's point, then you would be risking injury or putting yourself in harm's way. You can't go out there and give it anything less than 100% and play every play, all out. I mean, that's how danger happens. So tanking would come from an organization not putting their best people in the best places to be able to go out there and win a game, or the play calling that happens throughout the course of a game. And I don't even think many organizations do it. We've seen it before where, like, the Eagles at the end of a season did it. Was it against the Giants? I forget.
One of them was, I think. Yeah.
Anyway, so we've seen it. We've seen it before where teams have tanked, but that doesn't mean the players are trying any
It was definitely
less.
Giants. Yeah, it was Giants.
Eagles, Giants, right? At the end of the year? Where they got a better draft pick. All right, BT and Sal on the fan. Let's get to some baseball when we come back. 888-808-1019. We'll get to your calls as well.
The Nets are back in Brooklyn taking on the Hornets. 7:30 tonight on AM 660. The home of Brooklyn Nets basketball is The Fan. 101.9 FM and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets. From yards to touchdowns to who's going to win with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Tonight, FanDuel's giving all customers a 30% profit boost token. That's right. Get in on the act with a 30% profit boost token this Monday. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap, Just visit FanDuel.com/BT to bet on the game. That's FanDuel.com/BT to jump in on the fun with a 30% profit boost token this Monday night. We love the app around here. It's simple to use, easy to navigate, and when you win, you get paid right away. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is also the official sportsbook of WFAN. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable. Profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And for help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
I'm Colonel Callahan of the New Jersey State Police. If you're caught driving impaired, you'll face hefty fines, a suspended license, and maybe even jail time. Worse yet, you might cause a crash that could devastate someone's life. Be responsible. Don't drive impaired. We are all counting on you.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
For all station contest rules, go to WFAN.com/rules.
Nugget Bills, Nuggets all the way.
Hi, I'm Kylie.
I'm John.
And I'm Garrison.
And a little thing we love about the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets
is sharing them when we cut down the Christmas tree.
We will pack the car with gifts. And of course, we go and pick up our family's favorite nuggets.
Every nugget is tasty times quadrillion.
And we get all the sides.
Yeah, the ooey gooey mac and cheese is a big hit.
Share the nuggets, share the joy. Order the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Roaring engines this year. Hess race cars are here.
The Hess stock car racers are loaded with lights, sounds, and a powerful racing motor. Only at HessToyTruck.com. Free shipping and batteries included.
I'm Barry Colstein. I am a violin maker. Precision is part of my profession. 5 years ago, when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I chose CyberKnife. CyberKnife only hit the tissue that was affected by the cancer. Treatment was 5 days, virtually no side effects. I'm healthy, and I'm basically cured.
For an appointment, call NYU Langone's Perlmutter Cancer Center at 833-1-CYBER. That's 833-ONECYBR.
Tap Room is your casual gathering place for real food, craft beverages, and every New York game. With 9 Long Island locations, including their newest at Station Yards in Ronkonkoma. It's where you meet friends, make new ones, and never miss the action. Football, hockey, or basketball. Enjoy Sunday game day drink specials, wing night Thursdays, and kids eat free Tuesdays. Tap Room, real food, craft beer, and great company. Find your spot at taproomofny.com.
Talk sports with BT and Sal. Middays 10 to 2. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good afternoon at 12:01. I'm Andrew Bogish. Your Sports Flash is sponsored by Chef IQ. Precision cooking, effortless results. ChefIQ.com. And by Total Orthopedics, the experts at getting you back to being you. Total Orthopedics is Long Island's premier orthopedic practice. From simple sprains and broken bones to complex sports injuries, they're the experts at getting you back to being you. Total Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Visit TotalOrthoExpress.com today. If you're the Giants and you have to play in prime time on the road against probably the best team in the AFC, you may as well get your young star QB back.
These primetime games are ones that you have circled on your calendar, so excited to go out there, go compete at a high level, and do everything, in my power to, rally these guys.
Jaxson Dart under center for Monday Night Football in Foxborough. He ends up missing 2 games, recovering from that concussion he suffered in Chicago. Our coverage of Giants-Patriots begins at 6:15. Because of that, Nets basketball is on 6:60 a.m. tonight. Coverage at 7:20. Tip-off with the Hornets is shortly after 7:30 in Brooklyn. And Steve Cohen and Hard Rock International got the final green light this morning to build their casino next to Citi Field. Projects as well at Aqueduct and the former Trump Golf Course in the Bronx also approved by the state's Gaming Commission this morning. Fan weather is sponsored by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be located in New York. It's 41 degrees, clear skies in Central Park, and that's what's happening. Sports flashes top of every hour. I'm Andrew Bogish.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Friday, Saturday, whatever. But the Post, Mike Puma had a report that Jeff McNeil and Lindor get into another fight throughout the course of this 2025 season, and that Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto had a icy relationship or something like that. Okay, so big deal. Like, to me, not everybody's going to like each other. You have to work together. Okay, fair enough. You go out there and try to win ball games. It shouldn't be everybody needs to be friends. You think in '86 they were all best friends? Also, this is not new news. Fans maybe don't want to believe it. This is stuff that, I mean, come on. I've heard about it and alluded to it and talked about it for I don't know how many months. Nobody wants to believe it. And by the way, they can believe whatever they want. These are, I believe the report to be factual. I mean, I've heard, like I said, similar stuff over the years. But the Mets got to the 2024 NLCS with McNeil and Lindor on the same team. And those guys hated each other for how long ago? Did they get into the issue with 2021?
With the raccoon thing?
Yeah, the raccoon.
2021, right?
Okay, right. So it's been going on for years. So this is nothing new. And I'm sure that there's some issue with Soto and whatever it may be. Okay, get over it is what I would say. Get over it. Sack up. You're both making hundreds of millions of dollars. Sack up. I don't know who's at fault here, and I really don't care. I know Soto was an absolute beast, and if I had to pick one, I'm picking Soto and building everything else around him. But neither of them are going anywhere, so it's on Carlos Mendoza and the Mets to figure out how to get them playing together. And even if they hate each other, I don't care. It can't impact the team in a negative way, and I really don't think that had much to do with the Mets' struggles this year.
There was a point where Mike and Chris didn't even speak to each other during commercial breaks, and they were still one of the absolute greatest shows in the history of shows. I mean, if you're talented, if you work well together, you can still achieve ultimate success. I do agree. Listen, it's in the corporation, in the real world, there's not going to be, every relationship is not going to be, what we would want it to be. In a perfect world, we'd all get along and everything would be easy and everything, you could trust people. But as we know, there's all different shapes and different personalities, and everyone doesn't always fit. So I'm okay with that, provided the pieces work. Jeff McNeil's not good enough to have any issue here, so I just got to get rid of him. Like, I get it. If Jeff McNeil was hitting .320 and still winning batting titles, I'd tell Lindor to just get over it and shut up. Now, I also do think it's going on for a while, so there is such a thing to have like an early flare-up and then maybe get some resolution, and then it never really fully goes away, the tension, and it resurfaces a couple of years later. And at that point, if the player is not a difference maker and Jeff McNeil is not, then I would just move on from Jeff McNeil, and I think they're going to try to trade him, and they've already got a new second baseman, so that's one thing. The other thing that I don't get, and, for the quote-unquote captain, and he hasn't been officially named captain, why all these little flare-ups with some personalities on the team? Like, what is the deal with Juan Soto? Is it from the WBC? What the hell's the deal? Is he jealous because Soto came in and stole some of his shine or his mojo, whatever it is? I don't know. But, I mean, McNeil should be on bended knee thankful that Juan Soto came to Queens to bat in the first third of the batting order. Pardon me, yeah. Lindor, yeah. To make the Mets offense, and they need some more things here, more potent and eventually good enough to win. I don't get it, but I do believe in when there's smoke like this that there probably is just maybe an unfixable disconnect in personalities, and McNeil's not good enough. Just get rid of him.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't make that the primary reason. They stuck with McNeil forever. I would have traded them years ago for the same thing. This is not a shock. Like, they joke around publicly and call him Happy Jeff. So we know Jeff has always been a selfish player.
Yes.
And years ago, they should have made the decision to move on. I thought they were going to, when Buck Showalter took over, I thought they were going to move McNeil to third at the very least, because I didn't think that the two of them, Lindor and McNeil, could work as the double play tandem up the middle. And then they had him play second base, and they actually had some success. So I was shocked at that. But that, you're going back 4 or 5 years. Like, the issue with McNeil to me is nothing new, and the Mets have known this, and maybe they just can't get proper value on the trade market for him, and they're paying him whatever they're paying him, which is overpaid for McNeil. He's just not that good. At this point, you might as well keep him and have him be, unless you could get a proper return, you might as well keep him and have him be the first player off the bench. Can play a little third, can play a little second, can play some corner outfield. And again, you know me, I want him off the team.
I know you do.
But you tell me you've stuck with him all this time. The proper role for him would be a bench player, a utility player. You can't ride it out with one more year, assuming that there's no value there. What, because Lindor doesn't like him? He hasn't liked him in forever.
I wouldn't ride it out for. To me, it's unnecessary. I get you. I know he could play around. Play some left, third. I get it. There's versatility.
You're just giving him away?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, I saved myself $15 million. He's not going to play second base when you've already got one.
Somebody takes the full contract, sure. It's got to be, you're not just going to dump him for nothing.
No, you're not going to DJ LeMahieu him because he's still a functional baseball player. I'm not saying that at all. But, maybe you have to nibble off, $2 or $3 million, $4 million, or to further incentivize somebody to take him. Hey, here's a low A arm, the rookie ball, whatever, low A that throws 98 that we don't really know about, but he's intriguing. Take him as well, just so we don't have to eat money or whatever it might be, or to get a player that we think could be more serviceable or as serviceable in that kind of flex role that we think Jeff McNeil could do. I just, really, I really would like to get to the bottom of this Lindor stuff, because McNeil, to me, that's almost an ancillary piece. Like, he is what he is. All right, so you got a little issue reportedly with Soto. You definitely have an issue with McNeil. Even when before Nimmo was traded, remember that? There were whispers and there were reports and there was some innuendo that Nimmo was a little, I don't want to use the wrong word. I'm not trying to make it more than it was, but either disgruntled or disenchanted, something along those lines.
He wanted to be the captain.
Where he wanted to be the captain.
Yeah. Lindor wanted to be the captain. Nimmo wanted to be the captain.
Yes, and I respect that, because I think Nimmo had captain characteristics, and I think
Me too.
I thought Lindor did, but I don't really think that anymore. He's just a good player at this point. But you can have more than one person wanting to be the captain, but I don't know if you really respect the other guy who's viewed as the pseudo-captain, truly respect him, that it would turn you off if you're not named the captain. Like, I don't know, there's no equivalent on the Yankees. I'm trying to think of Aaron Judge, but I feel like there's a little disconnect, or there was a little with Nimmo and Lindor as well. I don't know.
Remember with Lindor, some issues go back to what Jason Kipnis had to say about him in Cleveland, as far as being not a leader. I don't know if he called him a fraud or something like that. Anyway, I don't even want to go down this road again, because I really don't think it matters that much. Do you think, now we could get into it, sure, I understand that people are going to want to talk about it.
It's hard though, because we don't really know the depth of if there is a personality issue. You just got to get better players. That's what matters to the Mets.
If you read the article, and this is all stuff that I have heard before, so I believe it to be true. Soto is businesslike. He's a machine. He wants to go in there. He's not about the fanfare and the fluff. He's workmanlike, wants to go in, takes baseball very seriously, and go attack each pitcher, each at-bat, all that stuff, and win. And I love that. That's what I want. I want somebody who's all business. Now, you want to have fun along the way too, but we're talking about trying to win games here. I don't need the guy who's looking for attention or cares about being a captain. I'm not saying anybody specifically. I'm just saying Soto was not that, which is why he thrived with the Yankees. Judge could be the captain. Let Soto go to work and be the machine that he was. Obviously, he put up monster numbers with the Mets here, but when he got better, it seems like the team got worse for whatever reason. Maybe other people were jealous. I have no idea. What I know is Soto's not doing anything wrong. I don't care if he's not nice or hard to get along with. Marte and him have a great relationship. Other guys are having fun with him. So everybody's going to always have something to say about somebody, whether it's Soto, whether it's Lindor, whoever it may be, McNeil, Pete, whatever. Pick a guy. It could be anybody. The Yankees. Not everybody's going to get along. Not everybody's going to be the same personality. I do not believe that is the reason why the Mets fell short a year ago. I also believe that whatever issues they had, need to be hammered out like adults. Sit them down together. Tell them that they're the leaders of this team, whether it's captaincy or not. I don't care about that. I'm talking about you can't have a divided clubhouse. I'm not saying that it was. I'm just saying in general. You don't have to like each other. You do have to play together and win as a team. And somebody needs to be able to figure that out because neither guy's going anywhere.
Yeah, that's a conversation that I would certainly have with Soto and Lindor. For me, that point is expired. I wouldn't even waste my time having the conversation with McNeil and Lindor. Right. Again, you got to find a suitable deal. You move on. And even, listen, if it's going to be to the detriment of the overall morale of the team, which it may or may not have been to an extent last year, but there were a lot of people who are at the ballpark every day that were saying something's a little bit off with this team. Not saying it's Lindor's fault. Not saying it's all McNeil. I don't know what Soto's role, although I agree. He just wants to play baseball. I don't know how that would turn anybody off. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was Nemo wanting to be captain. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is even if you like the goal was to fix the McNeil-Lindor thing, his contract's up. You're not going to sign him again anyway.
Right, just move on.
So preemptively, just move on and just rid yourself of one relationship that, let's face it, hasn't been great.
BT and Sal on the fan. Chemistry is always some kind of issue. There were different issues with the Mets years ago when it was Scherzer and Verlander and DeGrom.
I remember.
We talked about things like that back then. So it's always, especially when you lose, it's going to be brought to the forefront. But I do believe that there was probably, I don't know if it resentment or jealousy, or maybe the Mets just feeling like, when I say the Mets, I mean some of the players in that clubhouse, maybe feeling like they didn't need the big superstar in Soto, and then he comes in with that mega contract.
Didn't need Soto. I mean, those people are nuts if they're thinking that. Didn't need Juan Soto.
I'm just
who the hell's thinking that?
Well,
I mean, outside of Lindor, who's a good player. I mean, Pete's really good, too, from power. But, I mean, if the Mets were thinking that, then their mindset is ass backwards.
I'm just saying they went to the NLCS. If you're the player there, you could understand that rationale. Thinking, no, we don't need this guy.
I honestly, Sal, I couldn't understand that. I think there's certain situations. I think I could understand it more in basketball, where the arrival of somebody is going to directly impact my usage rate. Like now, Curry didn't have an issue with it, neither did Klay Thompson. But when Kevin Durant went there, they could have been saying, "Hey, we're already champions. We don't need this dude." That's 20 shots fewer for myself and Klay, and sprinkle in a couple for Draymond when Draymond was still a really good player. And it didn't hurt them; they won the championship. But I could see that impacting basketball where shots and usage rate is different. Juan Soto comes in, Lindor's still getting up 4 times. Like, there's nothing that Juan Soto would do that would take away from Lindor being able to, what is he going to run in from right field and try to steal a ground ball from him?
By the way,
deal with it, Lindor.
I also think, what if Lindor tried to get Soto to be more? Remember, there was a thing early on with
not wanting to take the pictures, the OMG
but
thing.
Marte was saying, like, "Hey, this is how we do things here."
Yes, I remember well.
Okay, so maybe Lindor as the leader, even if he's not the captain, trying to get Soto to do all that, and Soto just wasn't having it for whatever reason.
Okay.
So then you can't really blame Lindor.
I agree.
And I'm also not blaming Soto because let him be himself.
I agree. But provided, Lindor eventually got the message and said, all right, this isn't working. Let him just be the technician that he is. I would actually applaud Lindor if that was the case, where he was trying to get him, to ingratiate himself to the locker room and blend in. There are some people in every job and in the workforce, every job market, where they just put their head down and they don't want any interaction. And it's funny, or not as much interaction. I referenced Mike and Chris before. Now, I wasn't in the newsroom. You were. I wasn't here back then. We know that there was a point where they couldn't stand each other. Then, of course, but they're still among the best of all time, without a doubt. But what I heard, and what just knowing their personalities a little bit, and I know Mike better than Dog, Mike wasn't necessarily into small talk, where I could see Dog coming out and just having a conversation and holding court in the newsroom about who we bet and what do we do and this, that, where maybe Mike was just more a little zoned into the job. Not that Dog wasn't working hard, but they were two different approaches to their craft. And that's probably the case with Soto and with Lindor. And if Lindor tried to ease Soto into the Met world with the OMGs and the pictures and all that stuff, well, then good for Lindor, but you got to know when to step away and let the man do it. If he's not having it, he's not having it.
Now, remember, you and I had this conversation over the course of the summer where there was an article that came out where Soto was praising Marte.
Oh, yeah.
Quote, "I feel like he's actually the captain of the team."
Yeah, there
were more in there, and I was saying that was a direct shot across the bow from Soto to Lindor. People took issue with that or doubted that. How about now? Read those quotes.
Hey, like me now.
Yeah, read those quotes again. Now, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is sometimes I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I'm not just throwing stuff out there. So when I have maybe heard some rumblings, and then I see a report like that go out there, quote, I feel like he's actually the captain of the team, Soto talking about Marte, and there were more in that article.
I remember it well.
I'm thinking, oh boy, he's now laying it on thick. Maybe Soto just doesn't like Lindor. Yeah. Sorry. And by the way, that's okay. It may not be Lindor's fault.
But I'd like to know why he doesn't like him. Because that's why I said it was a WBC. I don't know. But if there's a little distaste for Lindor, I'd like to know why. Because that's a potentially greater issue, and look into the underbelly of the Mets, you know what I mean, under the hood a little bit here. If he's the main guy and he's been here for a couple of years and, up until Soto came, highest paid, highest profile, blah, 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 and Lindor doesn't get along or rubs some people the wrong way, I want to know why. That's not great for chemistry, but... listen, I just think that whatever you said a couple of years ago and the conversations that this show had before any other show...
Which was a whole different team, by the way.
But that's where I'm going. It's morphing into a completely different team, which in a lot of ways underscores what you and then what we said. Because Nimmo, gone, okay? I think the Pete deal last year was just almost a mercy deal where the owner's like, I don't want to hear from the fans. Give a deal. Get him here. Just get it done. We'll kick the can down the road. So Nimmo's gone, okay? McNeil's going to be next here. Now, it's just, it's happening, people. I don't know how else to say it. Whatever was said a couple of years ago, it may have been a little bit early and ahead of the curve, and maybe you didn't want to hear it then, but it's proving true.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Harris is calling from Long Island. What's up, Harris?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
All right, listen, well, you hit on most of it. I was about to say that, first off, McNeil, just let him go. I know you guys just
get rid of him.
Up.
Yep, get rid of him. Not worth
listen,
it.
You think he's a guy off the bench. I don't think he thinks of himself as some guy off the bench. Get him out. As far as Lindor, I've heard, too, that he is not loved in that clubhouse. I'm not going to say, look, I'm not going to get into who I hear things from, and it's not important. The point I'm saying is that I've heard that Lindor is kind of known as a selfish guy. He's obviously a good baseball player. He's one of their two best players, and you don't need Soto and Lindor to be best friends, clearly. And the tonic is winning. So if the GM this offseason can put together a team that is good enough to just, they have to win the world. They don't have to be a 95-win team, but it just can't be another 83, 84 win, barely, trying to sneak into the third wild card team, or these kind of stories are just going to explode, and that's all that you're going to be hearing about is Lindor and Soto don't get along, and it's going to really ruin what they're trying to do. It's going to make for a long summer.
Well, I think last year, Harris, good points, good call, appreciate it, buddy. I think last year was if they needed to really see it again or hear it again, I think last year was like, okay, this is not the way we can't move forward with this. Now, the starting pitching giving you no chance to win, the bullpen arms they brought in, throwing, gas on the fire. Understood. There was a lot of reasons why the Mets only won 83 games and colossally underachieved a year ago. And listen, I think depending upon the situation, you mentioned like the 86 Mets. I mean, Keith and Darryl were swinging on each other at picture day. I know, may he rest in peace, and my God, he was awesome. But, a lot of the guys used to make fun of Gary Carter back then. Now it's all, he was a great leader, a great captain. He played so hard. Darryl says, I wish I was more like Gary Carter. Right. He says that now. Because Gary, very religious, didn't drink, didn't step out on his wife, really was, a well-moraled, well-principled man. And a lot of those guys back then were not. But they made fun of him. They didn't hang out with Gary Carter. Reggie and Munson, Alex and Derek, when it first started with the Yankees. That's fine. If you've got a lot of talent, if you're a fringe team, then that's where chemistry matters.
Yeah, okay. The Mets were relying heavily on chemistry in 2024 because they didn't have enough talent, so I'd rather have the talent every day. And I also don't think it's the chemistry that sunk them this year. That's my bigger point. I'm I'm not disputing any of the reports. And by the way, again, this is old news, not just because we were talking about it. There was another article, I think Disha Dosar wrote about it before Puma had it. So to me, reading that was, okay, yeah, who doesn't know about this stuff? And also then the second part is, was that the primary reason the Mets had issues? I don't believe that it was. Something clearly was not the same as it was in 2024. The vibes weren't the same as they were with the OMG Mets, where you couldn't have a more vibey season, for lack of a better term, than they had. So much so that they went on an incredible run. But that team wasn't very good either. It took an incredible run just to barely make the postseason, and then they got hot in the postseason before getting dismantled by the Dodgers. So they have a lot of work to do as far as building a ball club. I would not look at the Soto, Lindor, whatever cold relationship as something that either A, can improve, or B, is going to prevent them from winning big over the next several years.
Yes, but I'm looking to remove basically everybody else from the equation that may have an issue with Lindor, unless you are, and there's just not
right,
nobody
but
else.
What if Lindor's the problem? You can't just say, well Nimmo's the issue, Soto's the issue, McNeil's the issue, whoever else.
I hear you. But listen, getting rid of Nimmo was an obvious baseball thing.
Yeah.
No arm, not on base the way it used to be. The issues,
declining.
the injuries, declining stuff, the contract not great moving forward. That's a baseball-driven move. Listen, Lindor very well might be the issue.
But I'm not even saying that he is.
I know you're not.
I'm just saying, you could say, well, get everybody else out.
Eventually, you're going to have nobody on the team. But I get it. The Bucks got to stop somewhere. And to me, just again, from a distance, it seems like the onus is now on with all due respect to Lindor. The onus is on him a little bit to kind of change, maybe. I don't mean how he gets ready for a season. I'm not talking about baseball. But if there are some little disconnects from a personality perspective, instead of trying to force it on Soto with the vibes, just let him be Soto. Now, if McNeil's back, you got to make amends a little bit here. And the young guys coming up, you gotta lead. You've got to be more adaptable to the personalities in the clubhouse. He seems fairly rigid with that. And especially if you're a captain, like one of the great things of being the captain is that you are adaptable. You can relate to anybody in the room. It seems like there's too many guys in the room who don't really want to talk to Lindor or just don't feel him, if you know what I mean. So that's got to change. And if it doesn't, then you're going to have bigger issues downstream. But you start with McNeil. Get rid of him. He's not good enough to keep around.
BT and Sal on the fan. We'll get back to your calls on the other side. 888-808-1019.
All right, Sal. Operating engineers local, 825 for the men and women who make our region move, whether it's roads, bridges, or our favorite team stadium. They build and maintain the critical transportation, water, and energy infrastructure that we all rely on. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing these signatory contractors and the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
It may be the offseason for the Bombers and Amazons, but there's no offseason for Yankees and Mets talk. Get the latest here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Costa Sunday morning at 8 right here on The Fan. Nick will preview all the football action to get you ready for kickoff, presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in New York, New Jersey. And our more than 280 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
We've got more sports talk coming up on The Fan.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. The new center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone too for my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family. Drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile.
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible port-ins on essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Health plans with $0 deductible options, virtual care with $0 copays. You'll get that and more. For 41 years, United Healthcare and their Oxford products have been providing solutions and savings for businesses like yours. Visit UHC.com/Oxford to learn more.
We all have regrets. That haircut, that text, missing out on Kohl's Cyber Days. Good news, you can fix at least one of those. Get up to 50% off gifts for everyone on your list. Sunday and Monday only at Kohl's. From cozy favorites to top toys, you've got 2 days until you miss out. Don't let Cyber Days be the sale that got away. Save at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends December 1st. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Sunday no longer a fun day? We've got specialists for that. Walking the dog, unleash, knee pain? We've got specialists for that. With 45 Castle Connolly top doctors, Orland & Cohen specialists are considered among the best in the nation by their peers, which can mean a better outcome for you. From Staten Island to Southampton, our network is open 7 days a week, so you can feel better, faster. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
Football season is here, and just like winning teams, your engagement should be all about the best. So if you're ready to pop the big question this season, why not visit the experts at London Jewelers? With top-notch professionals and cutting-edge technology, London Jewelers can help you select or even design the absolute perfect ring. So whether you're starting over or starting new, let the professionals at London Jewelers be a part of your journey. Visit any one of their convenient 6 locations across New York and New Jersey. London Jewelers, serving you and your family since 1926.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
BT, it's Al back on The Fan. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. We'll get back to the calls here. Working some football. Obviously, we've done the football with the Jets. Primarily, we did around the league. The first couple hours of the show, we just did some baseball there. We'll get more into the Giants 1 o'clock hour as well as we look ahead to their matchup tonight in New England. Kafka finally going to have Jaxson Dart, so we'll get to evaluate that. New defensive coordinator as well. One more thing from baseball was also another Met note. Did you see Senga's comments?
I did.
Okay.
He wants to stay.
Yeah, and now what do you think of those?
I respect that, actually. It's like the first forceful thing he's done since he's gotten here. Like, if you really think about the gripes, now, obviously, he was very good when he first got here. But there's been a lot of frustration where it's got to be perfect, pristine conditions. It's got to have the extra rest. He wouldn't push himself. There was a lot of aggravation. And I don't even know how much of it was fully justified because I don't know really how hurt he was. But he was a slow healer. And he seemed to be one of these guys who needed a climate control for him to flourish.
Yeah.
The fact that he was so adamant seems a little bit out of character, which to me would at least give me a little pause if the organization was inclined to shop him aggressively this offseason, where maybe I kind of reconsider unless somebody knocks my socks off. I like what he said.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a wake-up call. Also, think about it this way.
Did you agree, by the way? Did you like it, what he said?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like it more if he actually went out there and pitched with some sack. You know what I'm saying? But maybe
you can't show any sack in December.
But maybe this. Well, maybe this was. Well, maybe this was a little bit of a wake up call, saying like, "Oh, they're going to trade me," and maybe light a fire under him to kind of kick it up another notch. What I would say is that when you look at the needs, not only that the Mets have, but everybody around the league as far as starting pitching goes, and the Mets have it more than anybody else. When you look at the needs, what do you think the return is going to be on a guy like Kodai Senga for the Mets right now? Is that even going to be worth it to give up on a guy with his potential? We saw his rookie season and what he did.
Yep.
We saw what he did the first half of last year. We're assuming the Mets are going to bolster the front half of that rotation, so Senga's not going to be an ace anymore. He's going to be looked at as a third, fourth, maybe even fifth option. So now, if they need to shed the salary for whatever reason, okay, understandable. But tell me what the return would be and if that's worth giving up on the potential of Senga, especially if he comes out and says, you know what, I want to be here, and maybe starts acting in accordance with that.
I think that, because there's going to be, there better be much more at the top of the Mets rotation, including McClain and like either a Valdez or trade for Tarek Skubal, whatever might happen. I think that you're probably more inclined to say, all right, you know what? We've seen the first 3 years of evidence, some mixed bag here. When he's on, he's really good. He throws a lot of pitches. He's not always healthy. All the things we know about Senga, the scout report. But because you're not relying on him to be a top-of-the-rotation guy, maybe you're a little more willing to roll the dice and say, okay, let's see how he functions as a 4 or maybe as a 5, depending upon how aggressive the Mets get. Now, to answer the question, think about this. Now, he does really have good stuff. I know you know this, but I'm looking at the money, right? He's making $15 million this year and next year, and then there's a team option. There's a couple of different, I won't even bore you because there's a few bullet points within the team option. So forget about that. But Valdez is going to get, what, 25, 30 a year? Something like that? Something nuts, right?
I would say at least. What's his name got? Dylan Cease.
I did. Yeah, Dylan Cease. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. So if Senga is making 15 guaranteed for the next 2 years, I would think you'd have teams knocking down his door.
Right. Okay, but what's the return? Like
How about an everyday player and somebody in the minors that you really covet?
I'm still open to it. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. All I'm saying is if you need to upgrade the starting pitching, and they do, is it worth it to move on from a guy who maybe now had the wake-up call that he needed to a point where he's like, no, I want to be here. I don't want to get traded. He doesn't. It's out of his control. So there's really, he could have not said anything. He could have said something really has no bearing on it, which makes me think that he really does want to be here. And if that's the case, then maybe the Mets have a talk with him and be like, okay, well, here's where we think you've been lacking over the last 3 years. We like the performance at some point, but we're going to need a little more toughness, or we need a little more this or that. And maybe they just got to a point where they can't rely on him, and I can understand that either. Having a guy who can't pitch, until needs the extra, he needs 5 days rest, so he can only pitch every 6 days. Even when he does pitch, he's a 5-6 inning pitcher. No. So I could see wanting to move on from him, but I could also see that there's still value in a guy who's under control at a relatively cheaper rate.
Very cheap rate.
And has the potential to pitch like at least a good, solid 3 in any rotation.
I think there's a lot of reasons if you're a baseball executive, and we're talking about the Mets executives now, where they can come to that conclusion. Yep, worth bringing him back for a 4th year. I think, when you flip the coin over and you see only 52 starts over 3 years, that's part of the reason to maybe move on. I'm not saying it's an easy decision, but I do like it was fairly bold from somebody who doesn't seem to be brimming with confidence or aura or presence. Maybe a step in the right direction. Maybe he's finally getting it.
BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019. Mark is calling from Kings Park. We're talking about the NFL draft or the NFL tanking before. What's up, Mark?
Hey, quick question. Do you think the NFL should move towards more of the NBA style where your fans are not rooting, they're just rooting for their team, coaches, there's no question, are playing to win, the players are playing to win, and you go to the games and you root for your team to win, and who cares if they're 7th and 8th? It's going to get pulled out of a lottery.
Yeah, but hold on, Mark, what I think you're doing, I think you're misrepresenting the amount of teams in the NBA that play to win. That's not the case. The Nets have been stripping down forever, and there's a lot of teams with very low payrolls who are doing this. Like the timing is to Like they strip it down all at the same time to give themselves a better chance. While it's not guaranteed to get the first pick, but the more balls you get banging around in that thing, whatever it is, the greater chances you have of selecting top 3. So I don't think it's true.
Why not change? I'm not going to disagree with that. I mean, that's a fact. But why not then change the lottery rules?
For the NBA.
Or whatever, and then institute a lottery in the NFL where it's all equal.
All right, well, let's flush through it. I'm not saying thank you for the call there, Mark. I'm not saying that I'm not open to change here. I was just reacting to what Mark said about the NBA because I didn't think it was accurate. Yeah, I don't think it's perfect. I mean, how do you do it? I mean, outside of being the worst team, what else do you do? You're not going to have ping pong balls for the NFL.
Well, why not? At the very least,
I don't like that.
At the very least, there's a lottery in the NBA, meaning it's not guaranteed. It may be more likely. But, you finish, you have the worst record. The Knicks got screwed out of that. They should have the number one pick.
The Knicks got screwed many times.
So they should have had the number 1 pick the year of Zion.
Yeah.
And they ended up with
number 3 with Barrett. Not even Ja.
Right, not even number 2.
Yeah.
Anyway, point is that it's not guaranteed. So you can tank or just put yourself in a position where you're going to lose, but there's no guarantee you're going to get the top pick. At the very least, if the NFL had that, maybe there would be less talk about tanking. I mean, we've had this conversation before over the years. I'm all for it because I think it hurts the league when you have so many fans rooting against their own team for the idea of a better draft pick, even if it is for one slot.
Yes. Okay. Now, I agree with that premise, but I think it's much more impactful adversely in the NBA. Because the one thing that you really don't get, even when fans, and some Jet fans are still rooting for Jet losses, not me. If you guys missed the open of the show, we'll get back to Jet calls as well. I want the wins here at this point. I just want to get a culture going, Aaron Glenn, et cetera, and they'll find the quarterback when they find him. But I don't think you get apathy in the NFL. I'm not saying never, because it's kind of crept into me a little bit with the Jets, and the Giants have been very bad for a long time as well. So I'm not saying there's no apathy, but I think in the NBA, if you're a fan of a team that's winning 15, 13, 17 games regularly, there's really nothing else to latch onto because you're not going to watch an NBA. Tuesday night's not going to be devoted to watching all the NBA games. Like, at least if you're a Jets fan and you win 3 games, you could sink your teeth into fantasy, gambling, 5 other games, Sunday night, Monday night, primetime stuff. The NBA doesn't have that built-in advantage, so I just think the apathy is always going to be stronger in the NBA.
BT and Sal on the Fan will continue with your calls. 888-808-1019 is the number. 'Tis the season for cozy nights and big games, and there's only one way to celebrate. You know what it is. Celebrate with Surfside, made with real vodka, only 100 calories, and 0 bubbles for smooth sipping. For me, it was love at first sip, and I had plenty of Surfside. My family did as well on Thanksgiving. It was great watching some of those games, a little Surfside. After I carved the turkey, I was like, all right, enough of this. And then the family starts yapping a little bit. I need some Surfsides. It's not a seltzer, it's a Surfside. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly. This Odyssey Sports Minute brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. Make the right choice. Don't drive impaired.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Notre Dame and Miami both rolled on Saturday. The Irish crushed Stanford while the Hurricanes blasted Pitt. So will the College Football Playoff Committee actually value Miami's head-to-head win over Notre Dame or hide behind its own fuzzy math when it comes to at-large bids to the College Football Playoff? Both teams are done playing, so we'll see if the results actually speak for themselves. I'm Maggie Gray.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp data bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
Town Fair Tire honors any valid rebates, manufacturers or competitors' rebates. Yes, even any competitors' rebates. And we give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets. From yards to touchdown to who will win, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Tonight, FanDuel's giving all customers a 30% profit boost token. That's right. You can get in on the action with a 30% profit boost token this Monday night. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/GIO to bet on the game. That's FanDuel.com/GIO to get in on the action with a 30% profit boost token this Monday night. We just love the app around here. It's safe and secure. When you win, you get paid instantly. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is also the official sportsbook of WFAN. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issues, non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
This winter, celebrate the joy of the season in a new all-electric SUV from Cadillac. Make every drive exciting with the innovative technology and optic. Arrive confidently with the sophisticated styling of Lyric. And discover the comfort of this spacious three-row Bistic. Experience EV luxury like never before at the season's best sales event. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on the Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Health plans with $0 deductible options, virtual care with $0 copays. You'll get that and more. For 41 years, United Healthcare and their Oxford products have been providing solutions and savings for businesses like yours. Visit uhc.com/Oxford to learn more.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is here for the holidays. Enjoy a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium iced or hot coffee, all for $6. It's got everything you need to keep your holiday season running. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead directly on the Dunkin' app. After all, the holidays run on Dunkin'. No substitutions. Participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Nada que ver. Bring in a bill from AT&T or T-Mobile to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. ¿Y ahora? ¿Qué vas a hacer with all those unwanted bills? Pues, how about a full-scale origami version of the Statue of Liberty? Fuera de broma. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to your local Verizon store in New York City today and we'll give you a better deal for you and tu familia. Rankings based on RootMetrics Root Score Report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Requires postpaid consumer mobile bill from T-Mobile or AT&T dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms apply.
For over 100 years, Sloman's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, they deliver more than just quality fuel. They deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, and 24/7 service, their dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, the Tri-State's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving their community for generations. Give them a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT and Sal back on the Fan, 888-808-1019. I drove in today and I couldn't find a spot, even a metered spot.
Okay.
So I had to park it in one of those not good until 10:30 situations. You know what I mean? I ran the risk for 40 minutes. I saw the meter made come by.
Okay, I'm kind of hoping that by the time they lap back, you're good.
I mean, I'm hoping that within the 40 minutes that I left it from, he's got to probably walk a couple of blocks, no? And he's lapping back around.
That's a tough job. I mean, who knows? Yeah, I mean.
What do you think? I'm getting a ticket or no? He was there from about 9:40.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about maybe 9:40. Yeah, 9:40-ish till about 10:30 is when it was.
I think you're going to get rewarded today.
Not going well.
I do.
Right.
There was a point where I got
lucky these days.
There was a point where I remember once, like right out of college, I think I got towed like 4 or 5 times. I even got a girl that, like, I even got her car towed. My dad's like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I only got
I'm like, I just park where I want. That's what's wrong with me. Basically.
Park where I want.
I got things to do, Dad.
Who cares about the law, Dad? I park where I want. I think I only got towed once, and that was parking in the old fan studios. I remember I came out, I was like, where the hell's my car?
It's a very unsettling, nerve-inducing feeling. Feeling.
And then I had to go, I don't even remember it, but like thinking about I must have been scared out of my mind in my 20s, not knowing what the hell to do.
It's not cheap either.
Yeah, well, right.
It's not cheap. I mean, it's hundreds. I mean, this was back in the day. Hundreds.
Just maybe we could send Rami down. That's right. We did that last time.
I'd be happy to run down again. I'm starting to run a little low on Surfside. So.
Yeah, I actually have one more back there for you if you go do it. My car's a little bit further away than it was last time. So I had to drive in today because I have the second and I think final scene.
No way.
Yeah.
They've called you back.
Yeah.
This is a new development. I don't know about this.
It's only happened over the last couple of weeks.
All right. So what time are you shooting today?
I got to be on call at 4 o'clock.
So no SNY today?
Correct. I had to let them know yesterday, so I don't think they were too happy about it.
Thrilled?
I got a text yesterday on the couch. Hey, tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Now, it's better than it was last time, which was 9 or 10 o'clock, which had me up till 4 in the morning.
You almost missed the show. I was... All right. You're not going to like what I'm going to ask you here because I already know the answer. We're going to ask it anyway. Did you... See, if you were really thinking...
Yeah.
You could have leveraged that with the movie. You could have said, hey, listen, guys, I'm leaving a few bucks on the table with SNY. I'm happy to shoot the scene. Is there any way you can kind of sweeten the pot a little bit, make it worth my while? I mean, that's what you got to do. It's called business.
I give you credit for being brazen about that.
I don't know if it would have worked, but I would have asked.
Yeah, I don't. I'm just like... I was very appreciative of the opportunity.
As you should be.
And now I made a commitment, and once I filmed the first one, I wasn't sure about the second one, and then he had mentioned it, Will DeMayo had mentioned, hey, we got there's another scene you got to come into. I was like, oh, okay, so I have to see this through. So SNY, I think, understood, I'm not doing it for money, although obviously, you take whatever it is.
For free.
Well, yeah, and it's like, it's a little unsettling because I'm going to I think in the Bronx we're filming today.
Oh, you're not back in Brooklyn, so you're not by the Verrazano Bridge.
Correct, different.
Sally Boy's moving around a little bit. What's your character's name? Can you say?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say?
DJ Tom Paul.
DJ Tom Paul. DJ started to spit it up uptown.
Today is I actually have to study my lines because I just got it.
Oh, God.
Today is one where it's just me.
You just got the lines today?
No. I got the updated version, which is like the cleaner cut of it.
Right.
So, yes. I had it for like a week, though.
Are there a lot of lines, or is it just a couple of
It's a paragraph and a half, and it's all me, no back and forth.
Do you want to go? Can I?
I can't do the whole
You're not
thing.
allowed to do. Okay, here a little bit.
But it is being filmed as, I'm DJ Tom Paul, so I'm on the radio. Boy, let me tell you something. I got a story for you, and it's about something that happened last night. I can't go over it, but
Okay, so hold on. You're on the radio, but are you visible? Like, are they just hearing this?
I don't know.
Because if it's
so,
just,
then I could.
You could just read it.
It doesn't
if it's
matter
coming from a speaker.
I think you might be seeing it, though.
Oh.
I think, yeah.
So you're going to be doing this from a studio?
I believe so.
Like a pseudo radio studio? It doesn't sound like you know anything now.
Literally yesterday, I was like, is there parking? Is there what am I? It's like a call time, 4 o'clock. I mean, that's how they worked the day before.
So knowing your luck, you're going to lose money on the day.
Probably.
Because you're going to walk outside, you're going to get a massive ticket.
Correct.
Or, God forbid, towed, which
Correct.
would further implicate the day
Tolls
and complicate
coming
the
in
day.
already. I mean, hit with that.
Yeah. So Sal's the only person in human civilization that makes a movie and loses money. That's where this might be trending, Sal.
Probably, yeah.
But you know what? Being in a movie's cool. I think I made $300 for the movie that I was in.
Yeah. You don't get residuals for that?
Nah.
But it's not about the money. It's Gravesend Season 3. When it comes out, we'll be
Stand
excited
up
to
Brooklyn.
watch. Yeah, we'll be excited to watch the first episode. BT and Sal, the Fan, 888-808. 1019, the number to call. Richard is in Massapequa. What's up, Richard?
Hey, how are you guys?
Hi, Rich.
Oh, nice. I was just calling to say that, in the beginning of the season, we looked around and the Jets wide receiver room was Garrett Wilson and friends.
Yeah.
And now it looks like it's confident. Garrett Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, John Mechie, even Josh Reynolds on the as the wide receiver 4. It's looking like they're shaping up. And, they trade John Mechie for that from Michael Carter, and then they got rid of Gravy Williams for 2 first-round picks, and then they stole Adonai Mitchell.
Gravy, I like it. The Jets, Richard, are very interesting in a few regards, and thanks for the call. When you look at, a couple of things, like if you want to really condense the curve to go from awful to competitive, I think the easiest way to do that is through special teams. I think it's safe to say the Jets have the best special teams unit in football, and that's quantifiable on a lot of. I'm not going to bore you with it, but that's not just me saying, the Jets special teams is amazing. Like the numbers would back that up, both in terms of returns on the punts and the kick, and obviously Folk, the punter McNamara is terrific. But the numbers are there. Trust me.
They got rid of Gibson, that fumble machine. You see, he fumbled.
I did. He fumbled again.
Yeah, where is he?
Was it Philly?
Yeah, okay, so you had that was in the Dallas game, the comeback where he fumbled?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, that was a wild game, yeah. So their special teams is really buttoned up. And I mentioned this to Sal in the earlier in the show. In 24 and 25, they were dead last in penalties. This year, they're 15th. Now, I know yesterday there was 9, and there was some very frustrating procedural ones, like self-inflicted. Come on, man. It almost cost you the game. Those 5 yards really should have mattered, even though Folk hit one that I didn't think he was going to hit, capable of hitting from 56. But they have gotten better at that. They have gotten very good on special teams, and their O-line is cheap, young, talented, and nasty. It's a pretty good starting point.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Ray is in Staten Island. What's up, Ray?
Hey, what's up? Talking about the Lindor Soto thing. I know you guys talking about football now, but I think it's Soto. I think he's a selfish player. I think Lindor is more about team, about winning, and Soto just during the season, he's talking about stats. He went to steal that 30th base, 30th stolen base just to have 30-30. At the end of the year with the Yankees, and when they lost, instead of talking about the loss, he was talking about where he's going for free agency. I think he's just a selfish player, and Lindor is more about the team. I think that's why they don't get along.
Okay, so what?
No, I'm just.
Do you think that that's why they were losing?
It could be the year before. I think the year before, without that big player, that big star, it was just a bunch of good players.
Okay,
that got along, and they were winning. And then you bring this big star with this big ego. And look what happened.
Yeah, okay. And would you rather not have Soto on the team?
I don't know. I'm just giving you my opinion on what the Soto.
I get it, and Ray, that's fine. But then I'm asking you, well, what would you do to resolve it? Would you rather not have Juan Soto, or would you rather have Soto on the Mets?
I'm not sure. I'm not a Mets fan. I'm looking at it at a different perspective.
Okay. Well, you got to answer the question, though. I mean, if you think they're going to be better off with or without Soto.
Yeah, I would think now they got a lot to do. I could make the case that listen, this is a very easy argument. I mean, I think most people feel this way. They will lament that contract downstream, but you can't worry about downstream. Of course, you'd rather have Juan Soto hitting second or third right now. It's a no-brainer. So to me, being selfish in baseball is very different than being selfish in basketball. Like if I'm a chucker and I'm just going shot hunting and I'm ignoring guys who are open and I'm not rerouting the ball on the perimeter, I'm not playing within the confines of the offense. Hell, even certain football players are selfish and that could adversely impact the team. I'm not saying that there's no way a selfish baseball player, and not just Soto, anybody, I'm just thinking out loud here, could negatively impact the team, but I think it's a lot harder. Like if I go up there and, all right, I want to go 40-40 or I want to go 30-30. Well, if I'm successful and I'm not getting thrown out at a high rate, I'm successfully stealing every base I try. Basically, how's that hurting the team?
Yeah, it shouldn't.
You know what I mean? So
and he also is not selfish in like he's just doing him regardless of his job. He works harder at his job than anybody else. I mean, I don't care if he's selfish or not. He's a beast. They don't make him like him. I love Juan Soto. I don't need him to be friends with everybody else. Or you'd rather OMG? Iglesias is all about the team. There's a reason why Iglesias has to do what he has to do, and there's a reason why Juan Soto gets paid $765 million. Was Juan Soto selfish when he was with the Yankees in the World Series a year ago? I don't want to hear it. Soto's not the problem. Soto's a World Series champion. Is Lindor? So even if he is selfish, and I don't know that to be the case, even if he is, I don't care. I'd rather him be on my team than not. I'll get rid of everybody else around him. He is my centerpiece. That's how I think he's the best investment that you can make in the sport, especially when you go back a year ago where he was at with his age and all things considered.
I would prefer a better all-around player as my main centerpiece, but he's an amazing hitter. We all know this. As I think about this more, I think the only way that a selfish baseball player would really be a problem, and I don't know. I'm not saying that Soto is this guy, but I'm also not prepared to say that he's not. Because the one year that I watched him every day, the Yankees won a ton of games, and there was reasons to be happy. And last year was year one with the Mets, and I've got to give him a year two to kind of look at the optics of the team and the DNA and all those things that are changing. But there are certain baseball players who go 3 for 4 and their team loses and they don't care.
Right.
And they're relatively unaffected by it. Or conversely, they go 0 for whatever and the team wins and they're kind of moping around. Do I think it's possible that Juan Soto's got a little bit of that in him? I do. I think it's a little possible. Now, I'm not going to drop that at his doorstep yet because I want to be fair to him because he is a champion and he is a hell of a player. But Juan Soto is so consumed with being a great hitter that I can see that almost usurping winning on some level. I really could. I don't think that's crazy to think that. I want one more year of evidence, though. I don't know. It's a little bit too. I'm not going to do that now. It's too reckless. I don't think that's fair to him. But I'm not going to rule that out. I'm not going to take that off the table. That he could be one of those guys. Hey, I got my 3 hits. We lost 7-3. I'm good.
BT and Sal on the Fan will keep it going with the Jets and Mets calls working the Giants when we come back as well. Monday Night Football, Giants and the Pats.
It's Evan and Kiki. Afternoons on the Fan 101.9 FM.
New York Giant fans got their wish. After yet another fourth quarter defensive collapse, you guys have gotten some more blood that you were looking for. Shane Bowen will now be a footnote in the decrepit run of bad football we've seen the last few years.
Listen to Evan and Kiki on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Quality is very important here at the North Pole. You see, I check my list once, twice. All done.
Well, Santa, quality's important to us at Nissan, too. We actually test every model thousands of times. There's the frame twist test, shaker test, corrosion test, drive load test, tug-of-war test, towing test, off-roading test, practical strength test, splash test, corrugated road test, chassis dynamics test, water intrusion test, extreme heat test, extreme cold test, rough road test, jump test, curb impact test. And physical parts tests.
Save on J.D. Power's #1 mainstream brand in new vehicle quality at the Nissan year-end event. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Rogue Platinum, 2025 Murano, or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example, 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per 1,000 financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 12/1/25.
Head to SNY for all the latest offseason news and rumors.
A very busy and a very important offseason for the Mets.
With insider opinion.
What's your take on the deal?
And exclusive access.
Get it going here with Carlos Mendoza
on Mets Hot Stove, Wednesdays at 6:30, only on SNY.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Experience the magic of the season during the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. Enjoy exclusive holiday offers at Mercedes-Benz of Edison, Mercedes-Benz of Union, and Ray Cattina of Freehold. 3 powerhouse locations, 1 legendary name, Ray Cattina. Discover the power of 3 at benzfam.com.
Oh, hey,
Hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. The new center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks.
So I have to trade in my old phone, right?
No, at T-Mobile, there's no trade-ins needed when you switch. Keep your old phone or give it as a gift.
Incredible.
In fact, wrap up my old phone too for my Aunt Rosa. Forget that. Aunt Liz will be jealous.
Sounds like my family. Drama.
Oh, I got it. I'll give it to my abuela. I'll take reindeer paper with, hey, where are you going?
To T-Mobile.
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
24 monthly bill credits and 4 eligible board-ins on essentials for well-qualified customers. Auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Wake up with Boomer and Geo. Mornings 6 to 10 on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good afternoon at 102. I'm Andrew Bogus. Your Sports Flash is sponsored by Chef IQ. Precision cooking, effortless results. ChefIQ.com. And by Ray Katina. Experience the power of 3. Visit Ben'sFam.com. Steve Cohen and his partners at Hard Rock International got the okay this morning from New York State's Gaming Commission's Facility Location Board. Their proposal for a casino next to Citi Field says that will create 6,000 permanent jobs and hundreds of millions of dollars in annual tax revenue, expanding the existing operation at Aqueduct and building a casino at the former Trump Golf Course in the Bronx. Also approved this morning. There is one more final review before all 3 officially get their gambling licenses. Cohen's casino would open in 2030 with a price tag of $8 billion. Jaxson Dart is back as the Giants visit the Patriots on Monday Night Football. Our coverage begins at 6:15, roughly 2 hours before kickoff. And Michael Porter Jr. and Noah Clowney now available for the Nets tonight against the Hornets. That's a 7:30 tip in Brooklyn. You can hear the action on 660 a.m. Fan weather is sponsored by Flag and Anthem. Real clothes for real life. The holidays around the corner, and Flag and Anthem makes shopping super easy. Their holiday gift guides are loaded with picks from Eli Manning, Keegan Bradley, and Dierks Bentley. But here's the real pro tip. Starting Wednesday, Flag and Anthem is running their 6 days of deals only at flagatanthem.com. Premium gifts without the premium price tag. It's 42 and sunny in Central Park, and that's what's happening. Sports Flashes, top of every hour. I'm Andrew Bogan.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
The BP South Show on the Fan is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Giants, who will be in action tonight, Monday Night Football. I actually think the Giants have a chance in this game, BT. I'm going to pick them to win the game outright in our, we do our little pool, the perfect parlay pick segment, which we could get into more tomorrow. I know you have, you need New England tonight to cover, and you will hit your parlay here, close the gap on Hoff. But here's why. Number 1, Dart coming back is the X factor. Number 2, the way that Kafka has called the offense without Dart is much more of an offense than I could get behind. It wasn't just smoke and mirrors, rely on your quarterback to go nuts. It was a run the football with your running backs offense and then have the quarterback make some plays through the air, which I expect to see with Dart. And now you're going to add another element to that where you're going to have Dart being much, much, much more mobile and effective with his legs. So if you could do what you did with Jameis, meaning run the football with the running backs and establish that, have some passing game attack with Wan'Dale Robinson, with Slayton, whatever it may be with the tight ends, and then as a complement have Dart be able to use his mobility and his legs, that's where you take this offense to a whole nother level. And I trust Kafka to be able to do that. Plus, New England is not unbeatable. They're banged up on the offensive line as well. They're due for a loss. I mean, they've won 9 straight games, and the Giants historically have had their number in the Super Bowl. So I could see a spot where the Giants, shock the world tonight and get a win.
I'll give you another reason. The Pats play a lot of tight games, 23-20, 24-23, 28-23, 26-20. Even the Jets game was 27-14, and that didn't really feel like a 13-point win. The Jets were hanging around, so surprisingly. Yeah, the Patriots are a really tough team to gauge. That's why when we had our conversation earlier about the NFL and who's legit, who's real, the parity, all that stuff. If you guys missed it, free Odyssey app, I think you'll enjoy it. The Patriots are one of the more confounding teams out there and it's weird, like, I thought they'd be better. Well, actually, I didn't think they'd be very good coming into the season. But within 2 weeks, I'm like, they're a little more interesting than I thought. And now I'm kind of going back to the point where I'm like, yeah, I know that they're good, but how good are they? It's just a weird season. I think the Giants, I'm so happy this is a standalone game. I'm so happy you don't have to juggle the Jet game tonight. Can't wait to sit down. I can't wait to watch Jaxson Dart play. There's certain quarterbacks that come in that are fairly limited, whether it's that they're not very quick or, they got kind of a pop gun arm, but they give their team a little surprising jolt and they give a fan base reason to think, wow, maybe we found our guy. That's not the case with Jaxson Dart. I mean, the only thing that you got to worry about with Jaxson Dart is, are the Giants going to do him right by who they draft and what they get around them and who they hire as the coach and the coordinators? And which is really primary now. And will he stay healthy? Because the arm, the head, the instincts, the juice, I mean, the guys love him. He's a stud, and he's got all the components to be a superstar. So he's got a long way to get there. Hope he protects himself more. Hope he stays healthy. But I am really looking forward to watching the Giants tonight. I'm curious.
The Giants played better than I thought they would against the Lions. I mean, even the Packers, you want to throw them in there. That's fair. It's fine, too. Think about this, though. Tonight's going to be the last game that they're going to be big underdogs. Unless something crazy happens here, they're not going to be big underdogs to Washington at home. Washington's going the wrong way. They're not going to be big underdogs to Minnesota, who's also going the wrong way. That's also at home.
I think they'll be favored in both of those games, actually.
Maybe. That's what I'm saying.
Chance.
At the Raiders. And then home against the Cowboys. That's the only one that, if Dallas really starts to go nuts here and go in the right way, maybe they could be. But again, they're at home in that game, so I can't imagine them being more than a touchdown underdog. Anyway, this could be, if they play well tonight and get a win in New England, this could be the beginning of a run with the Kafka-Dart combination that could lead to Kafka being the next head coach of the Giants here. So I don't know if you're rooting for that as a Giant fan, because if you don't want Kafka back, you're not going to root for your team to lose, but that's what it's going to take. If he has any shot at all, it would start by beating the Pats tonight. Now it's like, wow, they played well against Detroit and even the Packers with Jameis. Now they beat New England with Dart, and then the final 4 games are all winnable games here. There is a clear path that Kafka could be the guy, especially if they win tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that, and this is something we've always pointed to here. I remember when we were kind of looking at the Giants' schedule, looking at a point like, okay, what would this mean? We just assumed that the Packers were going to absolutely dismantle them, and they beat the Giants by a touchdown, and we assumed, all right, well, the Giants hung around against Green Bay. Surely they're going to go to Ford Field and get absolutely bludgeoned by a Lions team that's hunting a win and trying to get healthy, and they went to overtime. So those are the 2 games we thought they would be very, very lopsided and fairly non-competitive, but we always pointed to what's beyond this. And, of course, the Patriots game, this was always going to be a tough spot. But to Sal's point, Commanders, Vikings, both at home. Vegas stinks, and then obviously Dallas to finish up the season. There are reasons to think, and not just the teams that they're playing, but also Dart back, and the Giants' offenses look better, and they look better as a team, and hopefully a new DC maybe uses Abdul Carter a little differently, and maybe Abdul Carter starts to disrupt some games. I can't wait to watch that.
He's going to be more aggressive, at least that's what it sounds like. That's been his MO.
I would think so. I'm pumped about that. And the other thing, too, is like about Kafka. Now, again, I was always of the belief, and I said this when he first came in, when they first got rid of Dable. I said, I believe the Giants are looking for a reason to keep him. Not that they would keep him if he didn't earn it, but I did not think that he was just like Ulbrich from a year ago for the Jets. I thought there was a chance he could win the job here. And part of it is because I know he's highly valued in the building. Number 2, he's been in the coaching cycle around the NFL, so I know he's kind of valued around the NFL. And number 3, which could also be number 1, I don't think there's a home run outside of the building. I know you were talking about Belichick the other day. Listen, he's Bill Belichick, but I don't think there's any chance that's happening. I like McCarthy. Not everybody does. Gruden's interesting. I don't think the Giants would have the stomach for it. And then you talk about trading for Mike Tomlin. Like all these situations, there'd be so many things that would have to happen to move mountains to get somebody. And Tomlin's not even like an Andy Reid or a McVay. So I think that you should have some hope as a Giants fan that this guy, Mike Kafka, could be the next young, innovative, very interesting, good young head coach.
Also, if you are of the belief, and we've talked to a lot of you that think the Giants are supposed to be better than what their record is, and they're not that far off, and their talent is better than 2-10, and I am in that camp as well to a certain extent. I mean, it is what it is. They're 2-10, one of the worst teams in the league. But if they are what we thought that they should be, they got to win some of these games here. Like, you can make a case that they can win 4 of their final 5 games here and get themselves to 6 wins on the year, which after starting 2-10 that would be actually impressive at this particular point, and obviously favor Mike Kafka coming back. But there's no reason why they can't beat the Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, and either the Cowboys or Patriots, BT. Find a way to win 4 of the next 5, and maybe Kafka saves his job. It's not what I would do. I would still blow it all up. But there is clearly a path. I think he's been impressive in the first 2 games to a point where at least I've opened my mind up a little bit saying, maybe just because I wouldn't think I want everybody associated with this out of here doesn't mean that that's the right thing. And if he and Dart and the new defensive coordinator can show you something over these final 5 games, then I think you have to be open-minded to it.
And I think they will be. Listen, obviously, if they win a couple of games here and Kafka is brought back, then Shane's going to be brought back.
Well, that's,
because if they win a couple of games, now, whether we believe it or partially believe it or don't believe it at all, whatever, I'm trying to interpret what the Giants, which is all that matters in this equation, what they would be thinking. And if he wins 2 or 3 games the rest of the way, that's a bit of an acknowledgement. Well, maybe Joe Shane did have a little bit, especially if the defense shapes up. Like, if there's a marked improvement in the defense, I think you're going to hear more and more that the Giants have talent that maybe you and I don't really believe that they have. Not that they're without talent, but I think it will be overstated a bit. And when that happens, you're not going to fire your GM, and you're not going to fire a coach who wins 3 or 5 games. So to finish the season, there's a lot on the line. I like Kafka. I am intrigued by Kafka. I like his demeanor. He's got a little juice. I'm looking forward to seeing him coach tonight on a big stage. It's going to be fun.
Joe is calling from Secaucus. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, man? How we doing tonight?
Yeah, not bad.
Hey, Joe.
All right, guys. BT.
Yes.
You just gave Kafka a lot of props. And what has he done as a offensive coordinator over the past years?
Yeah.
And especially what he did against Detroit last week by not running the ball, let Detroit burn a timeout so they don't kick that field goal at the end. Doesn't that show you right there that he's not too smart upstairs? That if he can't understand, wow, let's run the ball, make him force their timeout, and we wash our hands, we get a victory.
Yep. Honestly, Joe, it doesn't show me that. I know why you would say that. You know what it shows? I'm going to tell you why, though, Joe. I'm not even saying that you're wrong, but let me just explain myself. I promise you, if you're playing golf with Kafka or sitting down having a couple of beers, I promise you, if you talked about a situation like the one that you just described, he would nail a chapter and verse, what they should do and all that, and he would have the right read. When you're a first-year head coach, okay, things move quicker. It's not an excuse. It's the reality. Same with Aaron Glenn, who's been buttoned up more so than he was to start early in the year where we were criticizing some egregious, mistakes. I am a believer. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach, but I'm a believer.
No, I got you.
I'm just saying, I'm a believer in the game slowing down for people that I think really know the game, and I really think Aaron knows the game, and I really think that Mike Kafka knows the game.
Who would you get right now? If you were going to get a coach for your team right now, who would you get as the head coach right now?
I've said McCarthy for the Giants for years. And thanks for the call there, Joe. I've said McCarthy. I don't think he's a home run. I don't think he's a triple. I think he's a solid double in the gap where you could trot in and maybe even make the turn and think about going 3. He's not going to be a bloop single. He's certainly not going to be an out. I don't think there's a home run out there. Even Belichick, even if he wanted a, he's old. I don't love it. I think the game's passed him by. So if a guy who's young shows me some signs, I'm looking to keep him.
Yeah, I think it depends on when you just say, well, which head coach would you hire for your team? Well, are we talking about the Giants specifically? Because each situation is different. Right now, I would hire Bill Belichick for the Giants. I've made my decision. I'm not going back on that. I'm not saying it's realistic, but that would be the guy that I would want for this particular spot. This is not a rebuild.
No, it's not.
And by the way, if I were going to hire Belichick with the Jets, which I would have, or Pete Carroll, it also wouldn't have been a rebuild. It would have been with the idea of bringing Aaron Rodgers back. So those are two different things. Once you move on from Rodgers, and as the Jets have shown you even this year, trading Sauce and then Quentin Williams, it's a rebuild. That would not be the right spot for Bill Belichick or Pete Carroll or John Gruden. So to me, this is not a total rebuild with the Giants, which means I'm not looking to hire a first-time guy. I would hire Bill Belichick right now, especially if you're going to hire McCarthy, and that's what a lot of Giant fans want. Well, then why not just hire the better head coach of the two, at least in my opinion, in Bill Belichick versus Mike McCarthy. One's a little bit younger, sure. One's an offensive guy, I guess, but Belichick to me is the better coach. So if we agree on we're going an established route, an experienced guy to get this team over the hump and build a floor of at least sustained success here for the near future, then I would just go with Belichick. Now, if you're going away from that and you want to go young coordinator, then I think if Lane Kiffin shows to be the guy, Lane Kiffin, I keep saying it because I'm watching the Lane Kiffin thing here. If Kafka,
what a snake, huh?
By the way, are you surprised?
No,
if
we do the same thing.
If Mike Kafka proves to be the guy over the next, or proves that he has the potential to be a guy over the next 5 games, I've already liked what I've seen in the first 2 in the losses.
Yeah.
So to me, I'd be open. There's 2 directions. Are you going in the coordinator, unproven, young mind route, or the veteran route? If you're going the veteran route, and that's the way that I would go, I'm landing on Bill Belichick.
Up until, and I'm still kind of at that veteran route, which is why I always say McCarthy. Now, just general observation for the Giants situation, encompassing everything. A first-time guy is not appealing to me at all for the Giants. No, unless the first-time guy's been in the building for over a year and been the head man for 6 or 7 games, and he shows an early aptitude and a control with the ability to handle the New York media and easiness. Like, here's the thing: they're getting a real look at a guy in real time. Like, we could all sit here, you can interview, Shula, the DCs, Shula, everybody loves him. All right, Mike Minter, you can bring in the Notre Dame head coach. People talk about him as well. There's a lot of names being thrown out there, and they could sit down, they could come in all suited up and have their notes, and hey, here's what I do, and this is what I would do here, and this, and I hire this guy, we draft that guy. I believe in this. I can't, this guy, you got to get moved. I wouldn't pay him big money. Whatever the organizational plans are, because that's what a head coach during the interview presents. They can present themselves phenomenally. You're still a first-time guy who's never gotten in front of a New York microphone. And provided Kafka, he's got to win some games here. Clearly, if he goes donut or just one win, I don't know if I'm loving bringing him back. But if he wins a couple and he demonstrates the ability to, flourish with all the other stuff that goes on being the coach of a New York team, I think that I'm probably bringing him back.
Let's stick with the football, talk some Jets. Steven, Staten Island. What's up, Steven?
Steve-O.
Hey, what's up? I'm proud of my Jets, but, I'm hearing a lot of Jet fans on social media, and I got to say something real quick, so if you give me a moment, because they're getting on my nerves. We went the first 7 weeks complaining about abysmal football, and if you don't like the food, give the chef a chance to bring it back out the right way. And we went 3 for 5 in our last games. We have more wins than the Chiefs, the Colts, and the Buccaneers since Halloween. So, you know what? Well, maybe finally we have some continuity between our GM and our coach, and they're putting out some really good effort and a decent product. So if you're going to be a Jet fan and you're going to hate on the way that they've been playing, I say take the green off your chest and keep my team's name out your mouth.
Ooh,
Stevie. We're going to be back next year. And the game this week is just as important as the first game next year. So if you want to fly with them Jets, you better fly with them now.
Oh, all right, Steve.
Monday.
Yeah, the ultimatum for fanhood. All right, got you there, Steve. I'm with you to an extent. I mean, fans can do whatever they want. Fly with us now, fly with us tomorrow. It doesn't really matter. I can't prove this, but people who support this thought also can't prove it. You do hear this a lot. Like, there's no correlation between late season wins for a bad team with a carryover for the next season. Well, I mean, I think that's probably true in a lot of instances. But if you prop that up as your main reason for not wanting to win games now, and you just want to have the Jets have the best access to a first or second overall pick, well, then I would also say that there's a lot of evidence to the contrary, where late season surges, even not going to win that many more, so maybe surge is strong, but a little late season success after an 0-7 start
can bolster the direction. I don't know that we can really prove either way. I just feel like people are too definitive. Here's my takeaway that on social media, and not so much on the show today, but on social media, too many people are definitive about something that they can't prove. Because I'm seeing all these declarative, bold statements. There's no carryover. Did you do the research? Did you find all the bad teams and find out a couple of teams who won a few games late where it did nothing the next year? I mean, it's not that hard to do. And if you did that, then tip my cap. Then maybe you're right with that in the smallest sample. It's just a broad statement that I don't completely agree with. But I also don't agree with the other way, where if you win a couple late, it's guaranteed to propel you to heights the next year.
It's not guaranteed, but it has happened before. The example that I would use is the 97 Atlanta Falcons. I forget the exact year Dan Reeves went there. He might have gone there in 96 the first year. Maybe 97 was his first year, but they started winning at the end of 97. You could see the early season struggles, and then they put it together under Reeves, and they ended up finishing 7-9.
How bad were they, though, a couple of years before? Like, were they wretched like the Jets and the Giants? Or, I forget, like just 2 or 3? I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up for you.
No, 95.
I'm just asking because if they were in the toilet, which I don't think they were for 7, 8, 9 years, no way.
I mean, they've been in a toilet historically their entire existence. But the point is, with a new head coach, and Dan Reeves, obviously a great program builder, one of the great head coaches, you can see the change at the end of the year to where they started competing and winning some games. They finished 7-9. The following year in 1998, they went 14-2. Does that mean that it's going to happen all the time? No, but you can see some signs, and I would get that feel here with the Giants with Kafka. If you give me the example of, okay, well, they play a better branded defense with a new defensive coordinator. Kafka and Dart have a more sustainable offense, meaning running the football less with the quarterback and having a more traditional offense with Dart making some plays, and they win some of these games here. I would believe that there could be reason to start winning more games next year. Same with the Jets. The Jets have been playing, they've been progressing along here after the 0-7 start to a point where you're starting, okay, 3 out of the last 5. For the Jets, that's a big deal for a team that we thought at some point we're going to win maybe one game or none even. So I think that it can carry over. Jets, though, is a little bit different because it's a total rebuild.
Well, by the way, the Falcons were pretty down before that.
That was his first year, 97. Okay, right.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm going back year 6-10, 6-10, 7-9, 9-7.
They made what year was the 9? They made the playoffs in
that was 95.
Yeah, okay. They lost to Green Bay in that first round
with Jeff George, Metcalf, those guys.
Yes.
And then 96, they were 3-13. Then they went to 7 wins. Then they went to 14.
Whoa, but they were 3-13 in 96. Reeves came in 97, right?
Yep. Reeves came in after Jones.
We fired June Jones in 96. So Reeves comes in, takes over a 3-13 team.
Yep.
First year 7-9. And I believe they could have even been 8-8, but they lost
7-9. You're right.
They lost
7-9.
I believe they lost the last game of the year on a late field goal.
I don't have. Look at you getting in the weeds.
They lose to
I don't have the
Jacksonville?
schedule. I just have the result.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
So they were 7-9, but then they went 14-2 the next year.
Anyway, yeah. But now that's an all-time great head coach that took a half a season to build it in the right direction because they finished strong.
Yep.
It wasn't just 7-9, BT. They started out slow. And then they won like 6 of the last 7, something like that, or 5 of the last 7.
But the only thing about that example is that then it went right back in the other direction. So after the 14-2 year, they went 5-11,
well, Jamal
4-12.
Anderson blew out his knees. Week 2 in 1999.
When the running back was more focal point at that.
And they drafted Vic in 2001. Yeah, understood. Look, it's not guaranteed. All I'm saying is that was a time I remember vividly feeling like, wow, they're headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
And clearly it carried over to the tune of 14-2 the next year. Super Bowl.
I know, just seeing everybody swarm Nick Folk at midfield and a lot of players, 1, 2, 3 years in the NFL, for them to feel that excited about a win and then to see the locker room stuff that the Jets posted on their X account with Glenn, who want to bleep and fly with them Jets? Like the visual of grown men celebrating a quote unquote meaningless win, it tells you that's not meaningless. It's not meaningless to morale. It's not meaningless to belief in what their head coach is espousing and try to impart to them. The more that they get some success, the more they're going to believe in their coach and the more they're going to want to run through a wall for him, which I believe Aaron Glenn, when it's all said and done, I'm not going to sit here and make some bold declaration he's going to win the Super Bowl. I don't know about that, hopefully, but I'm not going to say that. But I will make one prediction. Aaron Glenn will be the kind of coach here where players will fight and they will give their whatever they got to make that man proud. I believe that he's the kind of man that will bring that out of young players. I really believe that.
Here's why the 97 Falcons is a good example. Started 0-5.
Did they really?
Yeah. Got to 1-7.
Okay.
2-8.
Wow.
And then they finished 7. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a clear, holy crap, they're bad. 0-5, 1-7. 2-8, and then they won on there.
Did they play the Jets or the Giants that year? You had the schedule? I'm curious.
They did not.
Okay, they didn't. I got you.
Quick glance, they did not play.
5, jeez, wow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But then to finish 7-9,
yeah.
Like who's to say where the Jets can't, finish strong here, or the Giants themselves can't finish strong? All right, BT and Sal on the Fan. More of your calls when we come back. 888-808-1019.
All right, Sal. Let me hit you with this here. Total Orthopedics, Long Island's premier orthopedic practice. So, whether it's a sports-related injury or something a little more complex, Total Ortho has you covered with spots throughout Long Island, Queens, and now West Orange, New Jersey. Don't struggle with pain or injuries and get fast expert care from the leading orthopedic doctors, including the #1 spine doctor on Long Island. Visit TotalOrthoSportsMed.com and schedule an appointment today. Total Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experts at getting you back to being you.
Holy cow! Monday Night Football is on WFAN.
He does throw it down the left sideline for Winston.
The Giants kick off December in Foxborough, taking on the Patriots. 8:15 tonight.
Jameis reaching, fighting, and is in for the touchdown.
Bob Papa and Carl Banks have all the play-by-play on the Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
I'm Dan Day from the BetMGM Network here to help you beat the books. We're going to Monday Night Football. I'm taking Jaxson Dart over half an interception tonight against the Patriots. It's his first game back since the concussion against Chicago a couple of weeks ago. They don't want him to run the ball as frequently. They want to adjust play style. That's going to result in him being in the pocket, and I think that's going to result in some mistakes at the hands of a really good defense in New England. So I'm taking Jaxson Dart over half an interception. Bet smarter, beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
We're here with attorney Mark Miner of the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner. Mark, we've all seen those cracked and uneven sidewalks. Who is responsible for such conditions?
Well, property owners are required to maintain their property in a safe condition, and that includes removing hazards from their walkways, parking lots, and driveways. In New York City and many other places, property owners are also required to keep the sidewalk in front of their property in good repair.
Well, what should someone do if they're injured in a trip and fall accident?
If you call us at 1-800-LAW-LINE for a free consultation, we will inform you of your rights. The sooner you call, the better. Early investigation is often the key to obtaining compensation.
Is the property owner always responsible for the condition of the sidewalk?
Not always. That is why it is so important to speak with an experienced attorney. The city, utility company, transit authority, or someone else may be at fault.
If you've been injured in an accident, call the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner at 1-800-LAW-LINE. That number again is 1-800-LAW-LINE.
Health plans with $0 deductible options, virtual care with $0 copays. You'll get that and more. For 41 years, United Healthcare and their Oxford products have been providing solutions and savings for businesses like yours. Visit uhc.com/Oxford to learn more.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on the Fan.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all of your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who will win. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers a 30% profit boost token. That's right, you get in on all the action with a 30% profit boost token this Monday night. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/Boomer to bet on the game. That's FanDuel.com/Boomer to get in on all the action. win with a 30% profit boost token this Monday night. Now, we all love the app around here. It is safe and secure. When you win, you get paid instantly. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is also the official partner of WFAN.
21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issues non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
I'm New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin. Every year, too many lives are lost in alcohol or drug-related crashes. These are preventable tragedies, and it's time to take a stand. Let's make New Jersey's roads safer for everyone. We are all counting on you.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills. Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Boomer here. If you care about cooking your meat to perfection as much as I do, the IQ Sense Smart Meat Thermometer from Chef IQ wirelessly monitors your food's internal temperature in real time and pairs with the Chef IQ app to tell you when it's time to flip, rest, and serve. So there's no guesswork, there's no overcooking, just perfect USDA safe temps every single time. It even connects to the new Chef IQ mini oven for hands-off precision cooking. So why not grab yours today at chefiq.com, code word Boomer to save 30% at checkout.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
First of all, did you see Patino's tweet about it?
I don't think I did.
Patino said something. You probably did. Patino said something about the college football calendar.
Oh, yes.
Like, because he's right. When you actually think about the analogy of that, imagine Patino takes St. John's to a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament and then bolts in March. Like,
I'm not worried about a 1 seed right now. I'm worried about St. John's figuring out the point guard and getting some more rebounds. A little rough trip through Vegas, but point well taken from one of the greatest of all time.
Dude, Lane Kiffin has taken Ole Miss to an 11-1 record this season. Now, he is so stupid that he wanted to come on, you're not going to be allowed to coach the rest of the year with Ole Miss when you know you're bolting for LSU. You got to make a decision. It's a difficult decision. You make yours, okay, fine. He wanted to go to LSU, but you're walking away from completing the season. I feel like I would have a hard time. It's not like he's not making millions at Ole Miss.
Exactly.
You don't want to finish that through. And I get LSU is LSU and Ole Miss is Ole Miss, but you're making millions. You've built this thing up. You have a chance to go finish strong here. I don't know, to walk away from that. College is such a dirty game, but it happens with all these coaches quite a bit in the college football landscape.
Yeah, the one difference for me is that, we can no longer sit here and say, well, it's not really equitable here because the coaches could bounce without any penalty, but the players can. Players, now you don't have to sit out. The transfer portal has obviously, I was going to say clean things up. It's actually been maybe the opposite in terms of it's not that it's dirty. Now it's above board. So, yes, I guess it is technically clean. It just made it messier. It's made the roster turnover much more volatile. The college sports is an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess. Now, specific to Lane Kiffin, I am the kind, and we're about the same age. I think he just turned 50 or 51. So it's not like he's 35 and he's got a different mindset than me in my early 50s. I think we're about the same place mentally. I wish we were in the same place financially. That would be really good. We're not even close. Never will be. But to me, you get to a certain point and certain things should supersede other things. Like, if you're winning, I could see if you're frustrated because the school that you're working at is not devoting the resources, and you don't have the NIL money, and he can't get the players, and he's at Ole Miss, and he's 7-4, but he knows he could be so much better if he was at a real school, a real football school. he's winning. I'd have to think he's happy. And I remember seeing something a year ago or so. Now, this was after his daughters did not want to leave Ole Miss. And I know he's been very outspoken about some drinking issues and some maturity things that he had to really reconcile from within. And he seemed to have done that. And it seemed like he was looking to be stable with his family there. Hey, everybody's okay to change their mind. I have no problem with that. But I think at this point, for me, I would probably stay, and it's so easy to say that here, but I would probably want to finish this through, especially when you're at a school like Ole Miss.
That's what I mean.
When you're doing something special, how do you bounce?
You're looked at as a god there.
I
Your
know.
family loved it there. I mean, maybe there were things that we don't know, and he's going to make his decision. Okay, fair enough. But it just seems like he left for what? Because LSU's historically a better program and he got a little bit more money?
Well, I mean, yeah, he got more money. He's going to get more NIL money. But listen, one's Mississippi and one's the state of Louisiana. Neither is, a real destination in terms of vacation. No disrespect to those two states.
No, but for college football coaching.
No, I know. But like what I mean by that, like imagine if he was coaching
San Diego.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Where even like in Ann Arbor, where it's just much more. It's just different. So it's not even about that. The states are very similar. Hey, he's just becoming a transient force who bounces around quite a bit. He's great at what he does. I'm not mad at him, but I also sitting there saying, man, the appeal is to finish the job, not just start it.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Back to the calls. Ken is on Long Island. Happy with his Jets. What's up, Ken?
Hey, guys. Great show. I can wrap up the Jets in 10 seconds. I actually got a story that you're both going to be interested in if you got an extra minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, you're both baseball fans. You're aware of the Carlton Fisk famous shot where he's waving off on fair,
75 World Series, yep.
All right, so that was my poppy who took that shot. Now, there's a story written about it. The MLB just did an article because of the anniversary of it, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But what's interesting is what led up to it. So he lived across the street from Yankee Stadium as a kid, watching games from his rooftop, playing on the field across the street. He had autographs on rookie cards, lineup cards of Ruth, Garrick, Williams, the whole shebang. His mom ended up one day throwing all that in the garbage, millions of dollars nowadays in the garbage. Now, fast forward a couple of years, he actually had a tryout. He was a pitcher. He had a tryout for the Yankees. The Yankees said, we're interested. We want to bring you on. He said, all right, I want to think about it. He went home, thought about it. War started. He went, served in the Army. Fought in Italy. Gets on a boat on the way to Japan. He told me everybody on that boat thought they were going to die, but obviously they're going to fight. We dropped the bomb. He comes home and then ends up going into, obviously, NBC and film and getting Emmys and then getting that shot. So I think the lead up to it tells more of a story than the actual shot. And then the Jets, everything you guys said is 100% true. We got the money. We got the picks. Now let's get a culture going, which I think the coach is doing. I wanted him fired when we were 0-7, but 360 now. Let's see what we got.
And showing patience there, Ken, and thank you for the call. Interesting story to think about. We just see the shot, right? To his point, the shot of the Carlton Fisk thing, and we only think of that, but you never think about behind the scenes of how that person got to that position. So I find it interesting. I don't know if it's a great radio thing, but nonetheless, we get
certainly jammed that in there. It had nothing to do with what we were talking about,
right.
but no, interesting. It's certainly, Oh, by the way, you know what I meant to tell you? This kind of just struck me thinking about old pictures and maybe what some are worth. So obviously in Dallas, went to the game on Thursday on Thanksgiving. Took the kids to see the movies, Zootopia 2. We did a lot.
You saw it?
Yeah.
How is it?
I love that stuff.
They liked it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Sammy's obsessed with it.
Oh, it's great.
I told her I'm going to take her this weekend. Whenever
you'll enjoy it. It's a little long, actually, but it was good. So we did a lot of unique things, right? Ice skating, whatever. I went to my first card show. I don't know that I've ever been to a card show. Went to a card show, and dude, I mean, I know
in
this.
Dallas, you're saying?
In Dallas.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I know how the market's exploded here, but are you aware of what's happened with Pokemon? Are you aware of some of these?
Yeah, there were some of them were millions. And I know.
And there were cards that were and I'm touching them. Now they're obviously encased, $7, $10, $15, $20,000 for a pop. I mean, have you ever been to a card show, or have you been to one recently?
I've not been to one. The closest thing would be Fanatics Fest. So
okay.
Remember they have all those tables set up with cards. That's like the closest thing to a card show I've been to recently.
Okay. So me too. I think maybe back in the day they'd have like a little tiny store in Brooklyn, I don't know, Joe Torre
or Lee Mazzilli comes in to sign something, and there's stuff like that. They used to do that a lot. Those guys.
Kevin McReynolds, I remember one time. Yeah.
Did you spit on him? Did you yell at him?
No, I got him to sign my upper deck
Kevin
card.
McReynolds?
1989. Whatever. I was a young kid. I didn't know any better.
I hear you. So, by the way, that's spit. I obviously didn't mean it like that. That was
what kind
ridiculous.
of person are you?
No, stop. I didn't mean it like that at all.
Yeah.
Point being, the only turnoff here, and I get it, it's becoming a business. But when I would get cards as a kid, we'd flip them in the street. We'd do Fozzie. We'd do knockdown. We'd put them in the bike spokes, whatever. There were kids walking in with briefcases, Sal. Like they're cutting billion-dollar deals in the boardroom. Like it's almost taken away, not almost, it's taken away all the pureness of collecting. And it's one thing if you're an adult and that's your means of making money. The amount of kids, and I'm talking about 10, 11, 12-year-old kids, literally with briefcases with locks on them, with thousands upon thousands of dollars in there, it's a little much for me.
Is anything pure anymore? College sports has changed. Card collecting has changed.
Yeah, I know. What? Yeah. I think our show is pure.
Well,
I think our show is pure.
BT and Sal on the fan, 888-808-101. Yeah.
I think there's not much other than that, though. Yes, the pureness is gone.
We'll finish up on the phones, 888-808-1019.
All right, Sal, this is pure as well. A little ELEC for you. Operating engineers local 825, the men and women who make our region move, whether it's roads, bridges, or our favorite team stadium. They build and maintain the critical transportation, water, and energy infrastructure we all rely on. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the signatory contractors and the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
It's Chris McMonagle overnights on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
When you're 0-7, is there a right direction? Like, that's what I'm so tired of both of these teams. Is there even a right direction at 0-7? I don't know.
Listen to CMAC on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Andrew Perloff with an Odyssey Sports Minute. From early November on, the College Football Playoff Committee releases a weekly ranking. It's a fun TV show, but unfortunately, it paints the committee into a corner. They create a precedent they might not want to follow next weekend when they make their final decision. Get ready for some tough calls on programs like Notre Dame, Miami, and Texas. Nothing is easy here, but having to come out every week beforehand definitely does not help them. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Black Friday savings are here at the Home Depot, which means it's time to add new cordless power to your collection. Right now, when you buy a select battery kit from one of our top brands like Ryobi or Milwaukee, you'll get a select tool from that same brand for free. Click into one of our best deals of the season and stock up on tools for all your upcoming projects. Get Black Friday savings happening now at the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
If you're injured in an accident, the Rothenberg Law Firm is on your side. A legendary team that has won billions over 5 decades. The Rothenberg Law Firm. 1-800-624-8888 or injurylawyer.com.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya Guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit Tremfya.com.
This winter's shaping up to be a harsh, snowy season. So take control of the roads with a new set of Bridgestone Blizzak tires from Town Fair Tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Plus, Town Fair gives you the most free services with your purchase of Bridgestone Blizzak tires. For the guaranteed best deal on Bridgestone Blizzak tires with the most free services for life, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
We're always talking New York sports on The Fan.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
I gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your bed. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
New Jersey's got a lot of winter wow. Wows to knock your ski socks off. Wows to warm your soul. And wows to blow your mind. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
We all have regrets. That haircut, that text, missing out on Kohl's Cyber Days. Good news, you can fix at least one of those. Get up to 50% off gifts for everyone on your list. Sunday and Monday only at Kohl's. From cozy favorites to top toys, you've got 2 days until you miss out. Don't let Cyber Days be the sale that got away. Save at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles, offer ends December 1st. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Behold, the alpha mother in the holiday wild. She prowls the digital savannas for deals to satisfy her pack. From her gamer husband to her tech-savvy daughter. Her advantage, switching to Fios Home Internet from Verizon. Choose from our biggest selection of gifts ever on us with a Fios 1 gig plan. Only until December 1st. Get our best deals with Fios Home Internet. Call 1-833-VERIZON to switch today. Availability varies.
Call of the day with Brendan Tierney and Sal Licata on The Fan.
Today's Call of the Day brought to you by Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating expert. Pete is calling from Seaford. What's up, Pete?
BT, do you really think that winning, say, 4 out of the last 6 and that momentum that maybe you could talk about is better than having control of your own destiny in the draft? Like, do you think that winning 4 out of 6 will soothe over, and with the 11th overall pick, the New York Jets select? Like, do you really think that that's the right way to go about the rest of the season?
Yeah, I do. Now, let me ask you this, Pete. If the Jets would have lost 20-3 and they couldn't muster more than 6 first downs, what do you think the tone's like at practice this week? What do you think it's like? It's awful. The guys are checking out. Guys aren't even interested. At least to me, this assures a competitive template.
Pete, what do you think? Why do you think losing's beneficial?
Maybe I'm conditioned differently. I think if you're not going to be a playoff team, you should maximize your draft potential.
Well, how's that worked historically? How's that worked historically for the Jets, Giants, and others?
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, that's why we're having this conversation. The Jets haven't done well in the draft in 12 years. I mean, you talked about Idzik before.
But it's not.
I'm having flashbacks, all this draft capital to the Idzik 12-pick draft that,
right, but
two
Pete,
of the guys are in the NFL after that.
Pete, you can have a good draft even if you're not picking atop the draft. But the idea that you need to tank and, well, odds are, we get a better player with the better pick. Not necessarily. I mean, it has been proven. It is fact that is not necessarily the case. BT and Sal on The Fan. Call of the day. In case you missed anything, check it out on the free Odyssey app. Yeah, it doesn't mean it can't win or can't work. You can't win like that. But look at the other teams. How do you think it's possible that some of these other teams, like the Ravens, for example, who have had sustained success, and they found their quarterback with the 30th pick in the first round with Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, last one. That was Ozzie Newsome's last move, I think, yeah.
Other teams have been able to have sustained success. The Broncos turn around their football team when Sean Payton comes in. They take Bo Nix later in the first round. It's a matter of who you take, not having just the first selection. And a lot of these teams, you could say, well, they had the first pick and they haven't turned it around. For years, it's been that way. You can have success with the early pick, sure, but it's not a lock or guarantee it's going to work.
I don't know why so many people are just married to the concept, like if the Jets don't get their quarterback in 1 or 2, that they're just not going to be able to find one. I get the scars. Well, so maybe I'm answering my own question. I understand the trepidation, and if you can kind of decrease the odds going in the wrong direction, you do it. But listen, guys, it was always going to take a smart, savvy, astute general manager to get the Jets out of this hellhole. And we talk a lot about Aaron Glenn, and we talk about some of the young players on this team that we like. I think maybe most encouraging is that they might have finally nailed the GM spot in Muji. Right. They really might have. He has done some good stuff.
And you've already seen some of those moves that he's made work out to benefit the Jets, not to mention that they're set up in great position, whether they, combine those draft picks and move up, whether they just select that amount of players that they have their first-round picks. They're in a very good spot. We said this earlier. They're in as good a spot as you could possibly be in year one of a rebuild. Now, will it work? Who the hell knows? But I like where the Jets are at right now. Jimmy is calling from Maine. What's up, Jimmy?
What's going on, Sal BT? The Giants decide not to go with somebody who's already been a coach before. I'm sure the name's been, pulled up before, but how about Chris Shula on the Rams? He was on the Super Bowl roster as a coach, second year with the Rams, ton of experience, young turnover on the defense. What do you guys think about that?
I think he's one of the stars in terms of how the NFL perceives him. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I think if you really talk to most people, that are in the process of either evaluating potential head coaches or maybe being in front offices that will be interviewing potential candidates, I think Chris Shula is somebody that they think of as top of the list kind of guy.
I would not go that way myself. I'm not saying that he can't be a good head coach somewhere else. Yep. I would not go that way if I'm the Giants. New York, first timer, defensive guy. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. So there are some great attributes. The McVay tree is not guaranteed either. We've seen that work before. So some guys are going to be good coaches, some guys are not. Is he going to be a good head coach? Who knows? Maybe he has the characteristics of it. I just wouldn't do it here with the Giants. I would rather do that with a full rebuild for a team who's looking to start over and hire a new head coach. Now, maybe he doesn't pick that spot. Maybe he's going to be like Ben Johnson and wait to pick a spot where he wants to go to. But again, that was an offensive mind with Ben Johnson. So me personally, I would not go the Shula way.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Listen, I want McCarthy, but I'm open to Kafka, as I said several times here, and I'm rooting for him. I think he's got a chance to be very good. I'm looking at Shula's resume here, right? Just, you go to like the wiki and it tells you all the different spots. I'm not going to go through some of his college spots. I wish he was maybe... Now, it's appealing to have been a part of the Rams for so long. But
how old? You have his age up?
He was born in 86. So what is he doing that quick? 37? That's real fast. I could be off on that.
No, he'll be 40 next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't even close off by 3 years. Okay. So I do like guys that have been in different organizations. I think the more organizations you're with, the more things you see, maybe greater chance to learn things like take this from that guy and take this from that guy. Been with the Rams since 2019. But he's had a lot of different positions, which I like. He was the assistant linebackers coach. Then he moved to the outside linebackers. Then he was the full-time linebackers coach. Then he was the passing game coordinator, and he worked with the D-backs. Then he was the pass rush coordinator, back with the linebackers. Now he's the DC the last 2 years. So, I think that's appealing. And even somebody like Aaron Glenn or John Harbaugh has actually done it. So a better example, special teams, history, like a little bit of everything, not just one spot in one city.
Right, but what about the offense? And if you're going to hire a first-time head coach, I would probably prefer it to be an offensive mind, a guy who's in control, calling the plays. That's where the league is gone. It doesn't mean that a defensive head coach can't be successful, but and I like the idea that you would look at him as more of an overall head coach, not just an offensive coordinator the way that Dable was or whatever.
Yep.
I just feel like in this spot in New York, you're going to take another chance on a first-time head coach, specifically a defensive guy. That, to me, would not work. Or would not be the way that I would go. Jeff is calling from Merrick. What's up, Jeff?
Jeff.
Okay, Scott is calling from Rockland County. Scott?
Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing?
What's up,
Good.
Scotty?
I got two quick questions for you. First, with Lane Kiffin, I know he's been a problem child at other organizations. People are wondering why, with the success he's having, would he be leaving? Do you think it's could be a popularity contest? Maybe he's just not worth the hassle, because he does like other programs. He's kind of been an issue. And then the other is
Scott, hold on, just to
Giants.
address that quickly. I think that would carry more weight if Ole Miss was looking to get rid of him. I mean, I think Ole Miss would have signed him.
Maybe they don't care.
What?
Maybe they don't care.
No, trust me, they care. Like, I think that Ole Miss would have signed him to a lifetime contract if he would have signed it. They didn't want him to go to LSU.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe, I guess. Roll Tide anyhow.
And thank you for the call, Scott. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, look, you think Ole Miss likes to know that they took a chance, or maybe not took a chance, but they got Lane Kiffin. Now, they had to know what they were getting into bed with. He was going to leave. He bolted, obviously we know what went on, USC, Tennessee, all those different things. And I know he's had issues over the course of his coaching career, but still, you knew that he was going to be here. At least that you had to expect that there was a good chance he was going to eventually leave you one day for a stronger program. So it's hard for Ole Miss to look in the mirror and just say, you know what? No matter how much money we offer him, we're not LSU.
I know.
And that's the realization of even a prominent college football program.
But why can't you become LSU? I mean, there's a lot of programs now you'd have to, I'm sure they have good facilities at Ole Miss, but there's always a way to upgrade. I mean, now it's easier to fix in basketball, but yeah, I know they won the championship with Raleigh Massimino, but what Jay Wright did with 2 championships, and I've been to the old building, and I believe it's called the Finnerton Center, and I've been to the new one, and like winning national championships and winning Big East, titles, it makes a lot of money. Like, their new building is sick. So, and Villanova was never like that kind of a program. I guess what I'm saying is with the right amount of investment and the right person, I think anything's possible. But these salaries are getting crazy, man. I mean, Kirby Smart's making $13.5 million. Ryan Day is $13 million at Ohio State. Where are we at in 7, 8, 9, 10 years? These guys have been making $20 million a year, these coaches. $20 million.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I guess I never really thought about it. Well, either way, it's a lot. I mean,
it's just not congruent with the way a campus should be structured.
Well, right. My bigger issue is that how much money are they paying these guys to go away? We went over that with James Franklin.
That's true.
Who was the other one that got fired? Brian Kelly.
Yeah, from LSU.
Obviously. So, I mean, think about the money that they're just, you know what? We're moving on from you. We don't want you anymore.
That's that oil money for schools like A&M and Texas. If they ever move, when they move on from Sarkeesian, that is massive booster money, like in Michigan and Ohio State. If they have to move on, like if Ryan Day didn't beat Michigan over the weekend and they crushed them, that was a fun game to watch. Did you see a little bit of that?
I did not. No, but I picked Ohio State in that college pool that I was telling you about.
You picked them?
Yeah.
I mean, if he would have lost again to them, who knows what his future would have been. And the buyouts are crazy. They're cutting, 15, 18, 20, 40 minutes just to get people to go away.
I know. It's insane. It's insane. That's the best job you could get in the world. Guaranteed contract to be a college football head coach.
I know.
And then you get bounced and you're good to go forever. It doesn't matter.
That is insane. What a life if you could get it.
All right, that does it for us on this Monday. Thanks to Dove. Thanks to Rami filling in for Hoff. We got Monday Night Football to react to tomorrow. We'll see what's in store from Kafka, the new DC, and Jaxson Dart making his return. So look forward to breaking it down tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks to everybody who listened. We appreciate each and every one of you and everybody who called as well. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Evan and Tiki, they're coming up next.
After beating UNLV Thursday in Las Vegas, Rutgers is back home at Jersey Mike's Arena. Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join myself and Chris Carlin as the Scarlet Knights play host to the #1 team in the country, the Purdue